Ahoy, landlubbers. It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. We're back with more Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. We're currently on week. What is this, like five? I mean, not all of the sessions have been like full stream length, but we did like two in 2024. And then since then, we've done like six more, which is probably roughly like, I don't know. We're like close to 30 hours. I don't think we're at 30 hours. I think Steam says I've played for 30 hours, but that's because part of the pre-flight checklist usually involves having the game running for like 30 plus minutes because you get it running and then you check to make sure that it's like cooperating uh with every did I hey, fun fact, I think I had to reset OBS since I did that. Is it working? Yeah, okay. Well, a little bit. There we go. That's fine. Nobody worry about that. Um yeah, it's like it's not of the utmost importance to understand how long we've been playing this game, but it's something of a mystery to me. I went into this with some expectation. I feel like I had been given a sense from multiple sources that like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is like a fairly brisk game. Not necessarily like short, but like not fairly long. Like we're approaching like long game. I'm a little surprised by that. Also, and this is both true and distressing, I don't know what to do anymore. This will surprise no one, but I mean, if you saw any of last week's streams, uh, we've been circling the drain on Lorelei for some time, and somehow, despite that fact, we put in like a solid like somewhere between like 7 and 9 hours last weekend, and like made what seems like no progress. And I was like very frustrated with that. And upon some reflection, I mean, I do stand by. I think the emotion on display last week was very sincere, for better or worse. But like, I definitely think that there's some legitimacy to the source of the frustration. It's just that like the last like most of the last like 4 hours of gameplay from where we're at now was like stuff we already knew we had to do. So like in this game that's sort of about like discovery and deduction, like approaching the end game, instead of there being like fun surprises and like uncovering parts of the mystery and whatever, like a lot of it has just been like bookkeeping. It's felt like I had like largely solved like several of these puzzles that I just had to go through the motions to like actually like legitimately finish in order to proceed with my life. And there's just something like really unsatisfying about that to me. Like a lot of the stuff going on around those puzzles is fine. Still not entirely sure how it is that that one key went lost for so long. But we have that now. We've done mostly everything. We'll go through the recap in like the proper recap in a moment. But just I did after the last stream, I had a comment that I put on the Discord that like, I mean, I've already discussed a little bit how I did not really care for how many of the puzzles that were left over were all gated behind one room, and there wasn't like a clear reason for that. It was like stuff that like I knew I had to do, but like all of it stemmed from this one random room that requires one fairly difficult puzzle to solve it. So in order to do like something like 12% of the game, I have to solve like this one particular puzzle. And it feels jarring because so much of this game feels like it's structured around the notion of like exploring this big like giganto hotel, and like the philosophy of the game is sort of like a modern puzzle game take that like there should be a lot of width. It's not about like a few puzzles with intense depth or anything like that. It's just that there's like a lot to do, and if one thing's not working for you, you go somewhere else. And like sometimes even just the act of like the change of scenery or moving around the house can sort of shake something loose and like inspire you to do something different that wasn't clicking before. But like all of a sudden, everything is behind the revolver door. Like there's two puzzles there that unlock like three puzzles that cascade out into like four more puzzles or something. Like it's ridiculous. And again, part of the frustration there is that like so much of what's there is like stuff that like based on the context of what we have accomplished, we either know like exactly what we have to do or almost exactly what we have to do. And like it's not rewarding to like unlock a bunch of puzzles I could have done yesterday, if that makes any sense. But ultimately, like the point is sort of this. Like I don't even necessarily mind so much that concept if it's made clear that like you did this intentional and that there's a purpose. And those are two distinct points. Intentional, like I had sort of suggested that like if everything past a certain point in the game somehow was like obviously to do with the supercomputer, which the game has strongly hinted to us is like the last thing we do in the game, because they say something like, you know, programming the supercomputer will like explain everything, something to this effect. And it's like if it's clear that like everything I'm working towards, oh, like now everything has to do with the supercomputer, then it makes sense that on the one hand, there's a reason why it has to be gated. It's like the final puzzle in the game. Like I can't just be doing that willy-nilly. Like it would be ridiculous for me to like abruptly and accidentally beat the game with like most of the puzzles left over or whatever. But also like just like thematically connecting all these things that are tied behind this big giant gate makes it feel less frustrating that I have to accomplish one important specific thing before I can access everything else. Because it's like, oh, of course, like in order to access the supercomputer, I need to do computery things. I don't know. Personally, I feel like it would help my experience a ton to tweak that. Like it felt like I was in a mode where I should still be able to explore the house, but like unbeknownst to me, I'd already hit like an incredibly hard wall where like there was absolutely no proceeding without doing something, and the game didn't give me any context to know that that was it. So then I'm like going back and forth looking for something I missed, and it's right there in front of me, but the game hasn't let me know that. Note that you can beat the game without 100% of the thought fallacy things, but you miss something in the end. That's weird. That's not unreasonable or unprecedented, but it sounds weird. And I am sorry for everything you're going through, Demolition. And I know you said that you may be a little more reserved in chat, and just know that that's completely fine. And also, if you just need to leave because the amount of suffering watching me not understand the computer is too much for you, I definitely get that, because it's real. It's gonna happen. It can hurt you. All right, so let's right. I'm in the basement. Personal history. So where did we like leave off? Okay. Yeah, I guess it'd be the 18th. So no, I guess technically where we left off. Shouldn't there be like an incredibly large gap somewhere? Listen, we're just going to start with the 18th and move our way forward, okay? Some of this I think would be at the end of Friday's stream, but for some reason I'm already unable to like everything for some reason feels like just mathematically this doesn't look right to me, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, we ultimately managed to answer all of the questions in the quiz club. which feels like it should be an accomplishment, but didn't, which was disappointing to me. But that's very personal. We opened the gate at the center of the red maze, which was cool in theory. We met a minotaur. He asked us a really confusing question, which we did manage to solve without an abundance of help. Felt reasonably good about that. Do feel like there was some like weird stuff where like the game was presenting stuff that looked like the game was suddenly providing written materials that like weren't consequential and as a result weren't added to our like photographic memory mind palace situation. But like it basically hadn't ever done that before, and then it felt really jarring that I like couldn't access that information because it like suggested it might be part of a puzzle, even though it was supposed to be a red herring. There were just like multiple angles at which it felt weird that this decision suddenly happened like 30 hours into the game. Um, Entered a grave in the red maze. So yeah, like we basically we yeah we started. I think we started the last stream with me going to the center of the red maze, inputting the solution to the three Greek characters listed there, which ties into the video game debugging if you're following along at home but need a refresher. Then we meet Owl Girl, and she like I forget exactly where we met her. I think we saw her underground because like we opened a staircase to like under the maze, and then she like gave us some like hint that I didn't remember all the details of, which was very helpful for me. Um, about solving a Minotaur related riddle. So we like found him. We found that he needed two laser eyes, of which we still only had one. We found the revolver. We're forced in a cutscene to fire the revolver, which turned into a key, and then set off the cascade. We used the revolver key to open the revolver door. That gave us like two things we could use the inputs that we got from VHS tapes to unlock the heads of two dummies, which gave us ciphers for the like astrological clock, and the journal has been locked in the library for the whole game if I remember correctly. Then there was like a second cipher that we had to do involving the clock to associate like planetary signs with days of the week in a specific order from the journal, and that gave us a key which we took to the mausoleum, which then after correcting my notes after writing them down bad because I'm stupid, we were able to like open the catacombs and like go underground and like solve like a series of weird like maze related puzzles. And I don't mean like a series of small mazes, a series of puzzles revolving around individual like ninths of the one red maze that's sort of featured prominently in many parts of this game. Once we did that, we found like a tomb with another laser eye in it. We took it back to the Minotaur. We answered his riddle, and then we went to the quiz club, and then we answered the Minotaur's riddle there. And then that took, oh, that's right, that took us to some like bizarre parallel reality where we saw like three signs of truth or something, which I like kind of have written down, but I don't know what to do with those at all. Ultimately, after spending like 40 minutes in the maze, we found the key to room 1953, which has just been there the whole time and wasn't hidden behind any of the questions that we couldn't do for a long time. I have no answer or explanation for why this is true, other than that I am bad. Then we unlocked the related puzzle box in the Renzo room, and we helped the old woman see, and then the game has given us credit for nothing following that, which isn't surprising, even though I feel like that wasn't where we ended the stream. Also, hi to Keen, who joined during that, and thank you, Demolition, for the ongoing gift sub. Hope you're okay with the cold weather everyone's been having. It's been nice for me. I don't live, you're probably reacting to the fact that like northern Florida got like I think 6 inches of snow, if I read that and remembered it correctly, which is a lot for Florida. But I live further south and did not get. It was kind of rainy this week, but it did not snow here, and it's been nice because, well, I mean, it hasn't been peak summer temperatures exactly leading up to that, but like, it was a rough summer, so I personally I prefer a more temperate temperature, and I feel like we've been having that recently. It's supposed to be nice over this weekend, which does actually bring me to one more thing, one order of business before we continue playing the game and hoping to make progress. Some heavy air quotes there. But tonight's stream will sort of educate us all as to what will happen tomorrow. I probably am going to have an early morning on Sunday when my friends is visiting from out of state, and I promised him we would meet up like a while back, and it seems like Sunday is the best fit for that. Now, you may or may not notice that these streams tend to go incredibly late in the Eastern time zone. And so I mean, basically, I don't want to run late tomorrow, so I may not stream at all, or I may do a short stream, and that kind of depends on where we end with this tonight. If we finish this game in its entirety, but it takes most of the stream time, I'll probably just skip tomorrow and not start a new game. If it takes like a ridiculously long time to finish this game, like 5 hours or something, I might, do a little bit tomorrow and then be done after that. If tonight's like super short, we might like do a little Balatro or something, and then maybe do like a run or two tomorrow, something along those lines. But yeah, it's just worth noting that not gonna be like probably a full length stream tomorrow. Maybe not a stream. We should know by the end of the stream roughly what tomorrow will look like, but we don't know now. It's perhaps the greatest puzzle of them all. Okay, so now we're technically playing the game, but we're still in my inventory. And that's because I just want to, like, double check our to-do list. And I'm pretty sure that there's literally no other thing to do than the supercomputer. And I'm pretty sure we checked this last week, but time does make fools of us all. And to be honest, it's been quite a week with quite a lot of information. And, it's enough to distract one from things they know. So yeah, it looks like we're in Supercomputerton, which is bad for me because that doesn't seem right at all. So we have... what's the one I need? Oh. Yeah, man. I do sometimes wish that I could organize these things on my own. There's like already a set, there's like the patterns and inscriptions that have all these years on them, and then there's the visions that have all these years on them, and I tend to get them confused at a glance. I can never find the thing I'm looking for. Keen says, it was cold, but strangely enough, your building at work has been closed for most of the week because of heating issues. Got work from home days. Hey, that's probably nice. Some people don't prefer that, but it sounds like that's a positive. So these memories all seem important, and I have naturally been assuming that they're related to the supercomputer in some way, but it's very not clear how that is. Now, most of these, I look at them and they really don't mean anything to me at all. But this actually makes sense to me. These are all mirrored numbers. So this is like 1963, but all the digits are like doubled up. To what end? I don't know. But what's weird about that is that should be 1963, not 53, but it's associated with 1953. I don't know what that means. But then, like, look at this. This is just, like, these are the most complicated hashtags I've ever seen. Mm, Is this 1967? If you like count the number of places where lines cross, you get something that could be a year. It's like 1 and then 9 and then 6 and then 7, right? 1, 2. Although I suppose you could interpret it as only where there's like a full plus where there's like 4 lines coming off it, in which case that last one would be 3 because there's not enough like vertical lines for that. 1963. Is that? Hold on. We're gonna do just like a fact finding, match finding. I have the correct answer for part 1, I'm pretty sure. But I want to check something on part 3, so I'm just gonna hit enter. And this I have no clues about, I think, presently. This, on the other hand, I feel like maybe I'm starting to understand. Yeah. Yeah, okay. This I'm finally starting to understand. So, like, I thought originally that this panel was going to be about grouping things in sort of a past, present, future sort of way. Because there's, like, a bit of, like, a cyclical time element to this where, like, Lorelai and Renzo, we basically have seen like 2 timelines, one in the past and one in the present, but like it's a present we haven't experienced. And I thought like maybe somehow we would have to do that, but I'm starting to think that all of the laser eye puzzles that were given to us by Granny Lorelei, aka Renate, they're not so much solutions as an additional puzzle. It's kind of similar to the way that all of the numbered year doors, like the answer was always the same thing. It was always like the year on the door, but you had to input it in a different way. Like here, it's a puzzle where the answer is one of these 3 things, and that tells you where the slider goes. So, like, I'm just gonna... I mean, first I'm gonna minimize this because I don't need this right now. And then I'm gonna scroll down to... supercomputer... number 3. And now we're playing America's favorite game show, 1847, 1963, or 2014. Now, the problem is that I think I can likely work my way through that in, like, probably not a tremendous amount of time. I have no idea still what to do on panel 2, like, at all. Like, none at all. Especially if I'm right about this and these all pertain to panel 3. Then, like, panel 2 I have stone nothing. But let's go into our photographic memory. Let's look at our visions. Okay. Okay. So my options are 1847, 1963, or 2014. That's a weird one. I mean, my gut says it's 2014 just by the nature of the fact that so many of these feel like they represent the concept of an even number with their symmetry and their like various quantities of 4 things. It's really not clear to me. Like, the most confusing inclusion here is the third one. The whole like plus on the inside. Not really sure what that is going for. I'm also not entirely sure how that first one represents either one or two. But deciphering that will probably go a long way towards understanding the rest of them. Hmm. This is really hard to understand by looking at it. Yeah, how does that first one? Is it? No, I don't think it's like. I don't think it's like four-way symmetry. I get like sort of meaning that like it would literally be one like reflected over itself, just like one, the digit one. This one looks really strange. You are somewhat on time, Sniper Justin. Welcome to the stream. It's probably going to be a lot of quiet contemplation. So like, feel free to uh, tell me what you think is the most creative color or something. Just like hit me up in chat. Because I'm just gonna be like staring at stuff. So like I've gotten what I think is like a pretty compelling lead on like one of the two remaining thirds of the game from my perspective. I'm gonna go ahead and clear these VHS things and this planetary week thing and these journal date things and these journal date things and the Greek maze solution. Whatever. Just clearing up a little bit of space. Now let me just write these down for my own context. It will be somewhat important, even though I feel like I could also feasibly just sort of like do them in a linear order. Like I don't think they're jumbled on panel 3. 1948, 1953, 1957. I will say it is an interesting concept that these 4-digit numbers are so core to everything. I feel like it might be like a step further of interesting to me if each of these individual dates felt like they had specific weight instead of them being kind of arbitrary and like a means to this end with the supercomputer panel 3. But like, just the way that like you could have these like varying lengths Roman numeral padlocks, and there's enough context in the game that like a 4-digit number is probably it. Like that's been pretty consistently interesting. So I'm gonna not look at 1932 anymore because it's making me unhappy. All right, so remember, each one of these can, as far as I am aware, these sequence of 4 things has to represent one of 3 answers: 1847, 1963, or 2014. This one I'm pretty sure is 2014. Going off the premise that the first digit is 2 triangles, the second digit is 0 triangles, the third digit is 1 triangle, and the fourth space is 4 triangles. So I think this is 2014. Okay. This one I was looking at before. I'm pretty sure what we're counting is the number of plus signs. Not enough info to be honest. It's rough. It's simultaneously like kind of obvious once you like sort it out, kind of, but also it's sheer nonsense. So like this one, for example, I was looking at this before. I think the first one is 1 because it's one like intersection of lines. And then the second one is like 9 intersections of lines. So that's 19 already, which automatically makes it 1963, but that's sort of borne out by the fact that like the next one over, it's like 3 pluses on top of 3 pluses. And then the last one looks like it could be more, but my deduction was sort of like, I think this is supposed to be 3 because it's counting like a full intersection of like 2 cross lines with like 4 spokes off of it. So like I think that this one is 1963. And it was the fact that I was trying to get some numerical something out of multiple of these, and like 2 of them came up as 1963. I'm like, this probably means something. And then this one I thought was the easiest, because like if you look at it for a little while, I think you're somewhat likely to notice that these are kind of just reflected numbers. And if you basically cut all of these in half, what you get is 1963. So this one and the one we just looked at were the 2 that I was like, these are both 1963. That doesn't feel like a coincidence. Now that is like essentially the sum total of the ones that I've like paid much attention to. I remember looking at this one various times, skimming through these and being like, that doesn't look like anything to me. Is this? No, probably not clock related. There's a little bit too much weird going on here. I've said something higher than 9 because of the number of pluses. The pluses is a little tricky. I'm not entirely sure what got me to there. Let's see. I don't know. Part of me wants to say that this has something to do with clock hands because this game really likes analog clock angles. I mean, it has, the circle feels like it means something. This would be 12 and 9. I don't know what the swoosh means. There's various things that don't make any sense to me here. 40. I'm going to come back to this one. This one's not jiving with me. All right, this is interesting. I'm thinking that this is probably 2014. And my reasoning for that is I'm looking at each one of these as sort of like just a vertical gauge. And like the first one's like a little bit up, but it's like not close to halfway. And then the second one's like at the bottom. There's like basically no visible thing. And then the next one's up a little bit, but it's less than the first one. And then the last one's like about halfway. So I think this is sort of representing on a scale of 0 to 10 how much digit it is. So I think this one, this is 60. This is 1960. So 1960, I believe the answer is 2014. Let me look at 1962. Well, the fact that the first one's a straight line feels like it's less likely to be 2014 and more likely to be one of the others. But is this just like number of lines on the outside? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that looks like 1847 to me. You just count the number of individual lines on each shape. And that gets you a classic 1847. 1973. Big square, little square. I mean, the relative size of the squares definitely makes me think it's not 2014, because that would sort of go the other way. It would be like a medium and then a very small. whereas 1847 and 1963 would both be like a small followed by like a somewhat larger one. So if we look at this, feels like this is 1963 to me, mainly going on the reasoning that the last two, like the last one looks like it's about half as big as the one before it. So like 1963, 6 would be twice 3. And then, yeah, like the second digit being like representing a 9 would be about 3 times as big as the last one. This one like truly is just going off vibes, but I'm pretty sure this is 1963. And continuing, since you've just joined us, that will sound insane. I think I've worked out a considerable portion of the supercomputer, because if I'm right about this and I sort of resolve these all correctly, that will leave 1/3 of the supercomputer with which I have no real idea what to do. You follow the logic there? Great. That saves me some time. But the part I can summarize that's relevant is, if you remember, one of the floors on the hotel had doors that were labeled 1847, 1963, and 2014, all sort of in a row. And those numbers have kind of been important solutions to various puzzles throughout the game. One of the panels on the supercomputer has like sliders for all the years that we had like puzzle doors for. And each one of those is meant to be attuned to one of those 3 4-digit years / numbers. And so what the assumption I'm operating under is, if we go through all these weird shape vision memories, we'll be able to assign each one of those years to one of those years, which sounds dumber out loud than it did in my head. All right, this is a little weird. It looks like there's a small number in the 3rd position, perhaps the smallest of the ones here. I guess, well, no. There's nothing that works quite that way, huh? I mean, is this lines again? 4, 2, no, it doesn't quite seem right. I see. So if you draw an imaginary line in the mid, like halfway down this set of lines, and like shift the top over 1 unit, what you find is 2014. So this is 2014. These puzzles I really like because they can make perfect sense to you and sound like the ramblings of a madman. Like that's a good puzzle. All right, that leaves us with 2. Now, I will say we have a real shortage of 1847s, which, like, there's a fallacy that makes me just want to assume both of these are 1847, but at the same time, it's probably not the worst idea to see if to like start from the assumption that perhaps these are 1847 and try to at least rule that out. And now that I'm saying that, I do actually think this is definitely 1847. And what's funny about that is, before I was like, does it have something to do with being like rotationally symmetrical? And I was like, no, but it literally is that. The first one is just the digit 1 reflected multiple times. The second one is 8 various times. The thing that threw me off is, like, I thought it was supposed to be like counting squares or something, but it's a red herring. The square in the middle is like the absence of anything. But then if we look at the next one, it's just like 4, 4, 4, 4, and the last one is 7 over and over. But it's constructed in this really interesting way that makes it look like nonsense. But this one is in my mind, is definitely 1847. And then that leaves us with the puzzle for 1957. That's the angles. Just the angles? Oh. Oh. So I think this is literally the target numbers that have been like forced to rotate partially. So that first one is a 1, and then we follow the swoosh and like unfold it to make a 1. If we do the same thing for the second one, it should be an 8. And then, yeah, if we like rotate from the bottom, that would become a 4. And then, yeah, if we unfold that little C, that would become a 7. That one is also 1847. So, not actually a fallacy. It does turn out that those both probably are 1847. But it was convenient that the ones that weren't 1847 were easier to solve, so we could narrow it down in that way. So now I feel like I got panels 1 and 3 on lock, which is great for me, except, oh, I apparently turned caps lock on at some point there. Panel number 2, followed by like 17 question marks. So let's go back to the supercomputer, having panels 1 and 3 more or less solved. Got a little closer. And let's just take a little bit, let's take a sneaky peek. And what the heck? What are we doing here? Second panel is the second time you used the guy. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, only in the sense that this really does feel inscrutable. Like, there are a few of these that look like they could be interpreted as digits in some fashion. But, like, where would the digits come from? I mean, it's just all, like, Tetris shapes. I mean, we had, like, one room that... I mean, maybe more than one room. There was, like, a room with, like, a camera in the center of it, and, like, the surfaces of the camera had, like, the numbers on the door of the room, like 1967 or something, and then you would like turn the camera and you'd see one of the digits, and then you'd figure out what shape you were looking at. We did also have one that I was calling like the Pop Goes Perfection room. I wonder if there's something to that, but like the problem is like I don't know like how many numbers there are, or like what the password would be, or how to choose by room among those. Just out of interest, this should be 1847, 2014, 1963, 1963, 1847, 2014. This is 1847, 1963, and 2014. Now, obviously, this won't do anything because I haven't input anything on the other ones, but I think that's what that should look like. Top, bottom, middle, middle, top, middle, bottom. Almost looks like something. Login failed. So let me take a look. So the second one is the password. So my guess is that, like, somehow or other, I should be able to figure out what the password is and then encode that into this. Wonder if it saves positions. That's a good question, because the buttons obviously don't work that way, but I assume it doesn't. Yeah, it does not. Which would have been my assumption, but until you said that, I hadn't considered that, like, it could actually function differently than the buttons. Login failed. You're very bad at games. Darn. I got my number. Okay. So, it's not going to be a map. I don't think it's going to be any of these books. Strabogrammatics. 2014 isn't Strabogrammatic. The Latin phrases don't feel like they did anything. That makes me wonder if, like, I should care about one of these. Morsad et hek olim memenise ayuvabit. Maybe one day it'll be joyful to remember even these things. I'd recommend picking up all the Mind Palace things. You know what? That's not a bad idea just for the sake of, like, making sure we got everything. I feel like we should either be close or have... Oh, you know what? There is something we could do that isn't important, but we could do it. Like, I can go buy some video games with the phone. I wonder if that's the only thing I'm missing. Yeah, that appears to be the only thing I'm missing. Which I wouldn't actually have, like, pegged as being true, but I did kind of want to do this anyway. So let's go do that. To do this, I must take the elevator up to 1. Now, I don't know if doing this has any bearing on the end of the game or whatever, but, like, these are, like, American dollar purchases, which shouldn't be necessary to beat the game. Do I still have this number written down? Possibly not. $48.36.81. Is that something? This could be a phone number. I don't know. 4, 8, 3, 6, 8, 1. Is this the video game company? Is this nothing? Okay, that's just some numbers I wrote down. Don't worry about that. Where is, oh, here it is. 497109. Thought I had it labeled somewhere. It's just really far down in my notes for no reason. It's actually at the bottom of my notes. 4970. How is that nothing? It's just numbers. It's just some numbers I wrote down. I have no context for what they are now. They're just gone. Hello. Thank you for calling Super Telegame. How can I help you? I would like... I feel like the system itself only tells me that it's like 2 possible. Give me this. 10 American dollars. Your order will be delivered with Lightning Express. Somehow we have mysteriously drawn money from you. Great. Do you help with anything else? I'm gonna buy all the games for the bite-size system. At least they're not using the astral plane to take my money. For some reason, I object to that. We're sorry, but that item is out of stock. We apologize for the inconvenience. Well, that explains how there's only 2 games I can order. Order Year Walk Returns for the Laser Eye system. This is very embarrassing. We're sorry, but it's out of stock. Can I have a whole, fresh laser eye system? Nope, that's not surprising. It wouldn't make any sense for me to be able to buy that. And I'm gonna guess that I can't order a bite-size system because I already own one. Are they just gonna hang up? Okay. I like that you don't end the conversation. You just choose to hang up on them and they can't help you. But I think we've all been there before. It's Ilo Milo Shuffle. Join Ilo and Milo in puzzling action. Ilo and Milo have decided to go to the park, but while wandering, the landscape suddenly starts shifting. Now they must be quick on their feet not to fall into the abyss. That literally sounds like a nightmare. Control the adorable friends simultaneously, beat your high score as the action gets faster and faster in this fast-moving action puzzle game. It also isn't exactly my favorite thing. You hated these games? That does not surprise me. Open this one. Split 2. Split 2 I thought like maybe vaguely could have had some connection to the supercomputer as being like a puzzle or something, but It's kind of looking like that game. Explosive puzzle sensation. Return to the hypnotic joy of split T with brand new elements and a new playing field. Put your strategic senses and logical thinking to the test and alternate between horizontal and vertical splits. Use explosions wisely as you figure out the intricacies of rules in Split 2. It seems like Bomberman meets like 2048 or whatever. I wisely used my American dollars to accumulate the wealth of video games. So, Split 2 is good and nice music. How do I pronounce that name with no vowels? JC McClint. I figured it out. The puzzle solved. Welcome, JC McClint. We should at least listen to the music. That's true. You do raise a good point, Demolition, that I don't know what's in Unknown, but as a result of not knowing what's in Unknown, I don't know how to unlock Unknown. Does that make sense? I feel like it does. Let's go back to Der Basement. Boom, 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 bottom, boom, boom, bottom. I find it's actually pretty tough to like make a whole video game within a video game and have it be any good. Now then again, Day of the Tentacle does include the entirety of Maniac Mansion as a joke, which was it's Day of the Tentacle is a sequel to Maniac Mansion. No, I know it's not to do with the computer. I wanted to save because I didn't want to do the phone calls again. But they also Tim Schafer joked that like he would do a sequel to Day of the Tentacle when the entirety of Day of the Tentacle could just like easily fit inside that game, which like we may be at that point, but I don't think he was totally serious about that, to be honest with it. Okay, so install a game. Let's do Splatoon. And then I don't know, I could do the last one. I'm a Milo. I don't understand it all. And make like really small square. Oh. Okay. I'm guessing I can't, yeah, I can't split these horizontally, I think is what it's saying. I scored 8 points, I guess. Why are these numbers declining? I'm not... Yeah, splits appear to be happening, I think is the most accurate and concise way of describing this. Now, when I put the split here, are those boxes in the corner gonna self-destruct? What does it mean, though? Am I just trying to clear the background? I'm not maybe smart enough for this. Like, I kind of get it, but I also don't get it. Stop giving me horizontal splits. Oh, I got a bomb. Now, what is it that makes the numbers appear? Feels like Severance's computer work. I will say that these numbers are a little scary to look at. That's fair enough. When you get a grid of 4... Oh, a grid of 4 of any size? Okay. But... So the bomb is for when I run out of other valid moves. Horizontal split, huh? The heck? That gave me like a lot of shape power. Hold on. Okay, so I have to use a bomb. So I ran out of bombs and splits. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll be honest. I don't hate that. It's very strange, and I don't know that it's particularly good use of stream time. The other one sounds unpleasant, so I think I might take a pass on time. I don't like time puzzles. It's very much like threes on mobile. I'm not familiar with threes. I'm not close enough to the computer to see. I'm sure that unlocked some of my super important potential of my save file. Wait, did it actually up that by like 2%? By 0.2%. Threes is the original name of 2048. Ah. Just anything with numbers on it is a valid name for that, I guess. Alright, so like... Yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult to know how I would obtain a whole additional, like, category of thought. I mean, part of me feels like panel 2 would have something to do with either 1932 or 1982? No, wait, 1982, is that the TV room? The 1982 sign? Yeah, I think that's the TV room, so I don't think that would be it. I mean, I don't know how I interpret this into... Okay. Let's do this. Screenshotting. Boop. Cool. Take this away. The last category is just before my car. I elected not to pay for it. If I pay for it, it's magicians, right? I mean, at this point, I think I've spent all the money that I felt I wanted. Like, I did all the video game stuff, and I bought all the collectible stuff. And I bought the coffee even though I don't really care about it. We could at least go see what it do. Honestly, there's like this whole like malicious subtext to the theater and like talking to the guys who aren't on stage. That like I thought I was gonna get like, I don't know, revolvered in the head by like talking to them. Measly 10 American dollars. I could show you a trick I call the disappearing woman. Now the problem is I have like what, $17 left, so I can only do this once. Does it matter which one of these guys I pick? Is that relevant? I guess I could do 2. For some reason I thought I had less. Do they all do the same thing? They're always in order, so it doesn't matter then? Okay, I accept your proposition, strange magic man. Your support keeps the arts alive. Now brace yourselves. Oh man. You have traveled far to get here. Come closer and I will tell you how this all started. This is the tragic story we call the legend of creation. It's implied I've been told the legend of creation. Thousands of years ago, the third eye shone over the islands in the Far East. But one night it fell from the sky. A human found it, and when she held it, she saw the magic of this world. She had a vision, so she painted a creature in red ochre on a cave wall. At night, the crimson beast awoke and spread chaos and death and devoured the human and her people. It's a comedy, the end. I find it's important to tell people the genre of the piece before completing it. The story of the red creature became legend, but the third eye lived on and appears in the most unlikely of places today. Like scrawled on the stall of a bathroom door. The door of a bathroom stall. Memory recovered. Oh, she did a reverse magic trick. Hi. So now he's holding dollars to demonstrate that I should not talk to him. Okay, I have 10 more dollars. I don't think there's enough dollars in the game to do all the things, is that correct? Brace yourself. There are. I thought the instructions specifically said you couldn't. Your journey has been long to reach these lost woods. Come closer and I'll whisper creepily in your ear. This is the tragedy of the tale of Baroness and Treasure Hunter. Hundreds of years ago. Long ago, there was a noble human born in a palace. Hidden in her palace was a long-lost treasure with a will of its own. Paint the world in red, it whispered in her dreams. And then she killed everyone. It was a comedy, the end. Driven by the influence of the treasure, she painted a treasure hunter who appeared in the palace as if real. Together they set out to find the treasure known as the Third Eye. The troisième... œil. When they found it, all magic and wonders of the world appeared before them. But with the vision came great misfortune. The ocean says, has anyone ever told you the legend of Darth Plagueis the Wise? The artist said, who needs eyes when there is nothing left to see? That's very cool and chill and normal, and not the sort of thing that happens in like a horror video game casually. She cut out her eyes and blindly fell to her demise, not as a human, baroness, nor artist. Instead, she had become art. She turned into red paint from an old rusty bucket. That's what they used to call me in high school. Old rusty bucket. Her whole world faded away, as did the treasure hunter, but the third eye was once again prepared to trade hands. See, again, I just don't feel like we should be handling eyes. Now, I do stand by not committing to doing this earlier. This does make me wish I hadn't bought the coffee. I don't feel like the coffee's been super useful to me. And I don't know that I love the idea of trying to get all that money. Which is the one of these that tells me how much money I have? No, I have to do that on the computer, right? Feels like something that should be in my menu, but it's not. See, my caffeine already wore off. I don't think it's inventory. Because there's a thing I'm looking for that tells you, like, in the maze, you have blank out of blank. So it at least gives you a sense of, like, where you could hope to find stuff. Oh, a dog. Computer. Statistics. 4 hotel dollars. 1 red maze dollar? Oh, that sounds awful. 3 the past dollars. I know what that means, and I know kind of where some might be. Prototypes? That would be the laser eyes, right? The video game, to be clear. Which one of these had the laser plats in it? No, not the car. Wait, is it the car? I don't think so. Is the car? Okay. Because I didn't want to get lost in the stupid maze. So I, like, didn't, Oh no, this is different. We got multiple dollars here. Laser Plats is that one disco cousin of yours? I'm pretty sure I'm the disco cousin of mine, to be honest. It's not 5. Might be 1, actually. It's either 1 or 2. Apartment in the city. No, it's not apartment. I need to get my car. I parked it at Algudenplatz. Okay, so, like... I mean, it feels like there's probably $1 here. At the Laser Plats, right? No. I guess I unmap instead of back. This game does really hate the concept of the back button, just in general. You like how loud the fake clicking is? It's almost unbearable. Did I already get $1 from here? It sure feels like dollars should be here. So much Tetris. Is it safe to assume that, like, random parts within the maze aren't gonna have dollars? That only, like, actual locations within the context of the maze might have something? It's always in the same place. But, like, I assume there's, like, multiple dollars here. Like, I got 1 or 2, I think, from this one. But there's, like, a whole bunch of places I didn't explore. And my assumption is that those are places to find money. But it's not going well. Like, is it just none of these similar looking locations? Always obvious. Okay, that saves me some time. So yeah, those are these 2, and then let's which way do I want to go? Right, because straight is stupid. This is promising. It's the main door. There's nothing of value going on inside. It's like they're looking in my house. You like the two? Sure. I mean, it's really just trial and error. We could go to all of the Platzes. But, like, Bank and Finanplatz. That's... I mean, that tracks. Those both sound like money. Nummernplatz. That's very good. Filmplatz? That might technically be the Platz I am. Geisterplatz, Augenplatz. Now, the problem is that you've named two things that aren't on the map. Oh, no, wait. There's Bankplatz. Didn't we go to... Maybe we didn't. Let's go back. I think this is right. Yeah. Oh. Found an American dollar. I have no business here anyway. So, judging by the way this looks... Was I at... This is Bankplatz. Yeah, Finanplatz is the one I was just at. For some reason, I didn't realize I could take a step closer and there would just be an American dollar on the ground. Which, like, feels on brand for me. Really. Ooh. There it is. Okay. Now the problem is that outside of that, I don't know. I think I'm missing one more past dollar. I have none idea which one that's from. So it's always two. You know what? I'm gonna take an educated guess that it's 5. Because I feel like I didn't spend a lot of time in 5. Because, like, 5 is the one where you have to, like... I definitely got, like, 1 here, but I'm only looking for 1. Inspect rock. What would I do with it? It's private business. Normal rock. Just an innocent rock. Inspect the hotel. It's not just actually a giant dollar in disguise. Map and tiny rock. Tiny rock. I've already clicked map. Does the tiny rock disappear when you click it? I feel like we might be good here. I kind of clicked all the rocks. I'm gonna say that's... Yeah, I'm gonna say we probably got that. Load. Let's do 4. Don't remember if I got 2 from this. This is the first one I went to, was 4. I think we got... Did we get one in the bathroom? Talk to cashier. You can pay after you've filled up. I want to pay first. And toilet paper. Such incredibly immersive sound effects. It's like I'm really there. Yeah, those both sound like things I've done. Just take my imaginary money. Oh no, it's right there. Okay, well, job done. How would you put your American dollar, like, in the toilet paper? Leave this horrible place. Run statistics. So, 4 hotel dollars. That feels like a lot of hotel dollars. 1... I really don't want to do one in the red maze, I have to be honest with you. The prototypes also sound very bad, but that is literally the sum total of everything left to do. I mean, we could go... See, this is the tragedy of the commons. is that, like, I do feel like I could have gone without coffee and then gotten this without having to get every single dollar in the game. As painfully slow as I'm walking, I had become used to it. Now, all of this is to say, this does nothing, and in no way helps me figure out Shape-a-Palooza. Is there anyone I could just, like, beat up to take, like, 10 American dollars from them? Hey, Critwitch, welcome to the stream. How is Am going for you? Easily 10 American dollars. That's all my money. Please brace yourself. My organs. You have traveled far to find this forest. Come closer and I'll whisper an unsettling truth. This is the tragic story we call The Quest of Man. It is a comedy. Thank you for the 63-month resub, by the way. Let's not bury the lead there. The legends tell of a human who sought magic. He traveled to a dilapidated place in the west to find it. Somewhere on these grounds he found the third eye, and when he held it he saw the magic of this world. This encounter by holy and profane gave him a vision of his magnum opus. This sounds like a cross between The Dead Man's Gun and The Seventh Guest. One of the guests in Seventh Guest wishes for real magic, which is not like a great wish, but it's better than I wish for a different life, my god. Filled by the spirit of the third eye, he saw a whole universe. Everything appeared before him through magic. His fingers could touch everything, including each other. Oh, it's the soundtrack to like an indie rom-com. That's fun. Alas, magic likewise gained him mastery of a woeful truth. He found that art is only as good as its spectators. Wow, that's a hot take. It's the fault of the audience that they didn't understand. The episode of Game of Thrones wasn't too dark, you just didn't have an expensive enough television. In a feeble protest against mammon and the mediocrity of man, he cut out his eyes. I'm sensing a recurring theme. Eris Morn would be thrilled, though. We could bring her so many eyes from this universe. Just all these loose eyes hanging out of their sockets because they've been cut out. Skull joke? That's not a skull joke. The third eye once again became a lost treasure and the man faded away. It was very cool and normal. It was a comedy. The end. Seems for your next move should be cut out your eyes. Ooh, Cotillion. I think maybe you're onto something. This sort of running joke has started with my parents and I. We watched the reality show The Traitors, which is like a social deduction game where like some number of people are the traitors and they choose people to eliminate on a weekly basis and everyone else is trying to like figure out who the traitors are, but it's really hard because the game is designed so you have like no information. And like invariably in like every season of The Traitors that I've ever witnessed, some person like multiple weeks into the show will basically say some variation of like, I'm thinking that we should figure out who the traitors are and vote them out. It's like, that is literally the whole entire game. That shouldn't be news. That shouldn't be a thing you had to figure out. That's literally like the first page of the instruction manual. Can you use knife with eyes? Do I have knife in this game? I don't think this game ever gave me a knife. I have tampons, but also I don't have a hitbox for my eyes, so I guess that does rule that out sort of by default. But it would be really fitting if the end of this game was to, like, remove my eyes with tampons. Don't you think? Okay, so I've accomplished, like, nothing. I do kind of have to use the restroom. So, tell you what. I think I should take, like, a little pause. Those could be knives too. I mean, anything is knife if you believe in yourself and try hard enough or something like that. which does trivialize some relatively high percentage of all adventure game puzzles. I wonder where all these dollars I'm missing are. Not the maze one. I hope never to learn that. I feel like it'd be helpful. I mean, like, do you all want to be bothered finding American dollars, or just focus on the puzzle? Or focus on the puzzle and then maybe revisit the concept of American dollars? You ponder that, and I'm gonna put you on hold, and I'll be back in like a couple minutes. BRB. All right, I'm back. Someone asked earlier how I was doing in the sort of cold snap that North America is feeling, and that there's snow up further north in Florida, which is super weird. To demonstrate how relatively little I've been affected, the most I've been affected by it is probably just the fact that like my water heater seems to be really struggling to make water warm. It's like fine if you run it for long enough, so like showers working and whatever, but like if I go to just like wash my hands really quick, I'd have to like stand there for like several minutes for it to heat up. It's like that doesn't seem like a good use of time. So I think just the presence of my water heater in the garage, which is not particularly insulated from the external temperature, has chilled all the fart water contained in the dark cylinder. I mean, we certainly could go floor by floor through the hotel. It's really a question of like whether that feels like it's worthwhile, because it will take like a long time to be able to find 10 American dollars, I imagine. Um, so like, I'm gonna go back down to the basement first. First things first. I'm the realist. And I'm going to take another look at the second panel now that I have this screenshot of the 1932 door. And see if that illuminates anything for me. Mm-hmm. This definitely doesn't look like this could be a one-to-one correlation. While I was in the restaurant, I was thinking about the fact that, like, the room, not the 1932 room that these shapes come from, was like very specifically an example of a room where I like didn't get a cipher for like all of the digits from uh 0 to 10, or from 0 to 9, or 1 to 10. You understand. So like it would limit my ability to turn that password into any other sort of thing. Do I still have written down what the solution to 1932 was? Probably go figure it out again. But like, it doesn't sound good. No, I have deleted that, which is not surprising. Doesn't feel like that is what the game would want to do. I had a real loss for this one. Like, I like not going into this not really knowing what the like laser eye information would translate to. I had some like vain hope that it might help solve both parts of the puzzle equally. Gosh, if only one of these was an 8, I feel like I could just input like 1847 in its entirety and it would feel on brand somehow. Again, the trick is like I just don't even know like how many digits it would be. Do I see a common pattern? Not exactly. I feel like I see like the edges of some kind of pattern, but not something like conscious. Just for fun, you know. Let's just go R E L E I is this guy. So that's the first input correct. I mean, like, so I don't know. Obviously, there's sort of like an overall Tetris look. We have numerous things that look vaguely like 1s and 4s and 7s. There's like some T's, various angles. I just am not like immediately thinking of like a relevant piece of information. I mean, like, this panel 2 is meant to be the password, which I feel like is some kind of hint. What does it call the third thing? And it's not really relevant since I'm pretty sure I have the correct answer. But like memory configuration or something? Thanks. Yeah, for now, let's dial it back because this is like really like the main thing left to do in the game, as far as I know, and we'll just leave it there for now. There will definitely come a time of desperation where we're anxious to move this forward, but we're not there yet. It could, you know what it could be a little bit like? It might be a little bit like that weird key that we had to 1847 door. The the old woman's key or whatever, where like there was like a line and we had to like arrange like portions of numbers that like if you arrange them the right way they like spelled out 1847, but like the individual components kind of look like nothing. There's definitely like a sort of line motif here, but I don't know how I would know what to like spell out with it even if I understood it. I mean, obviously not every single one of these makes like an inherent amount of sense following from that, but I think the idea is like if the line cuts across, sometimes there's just like random stuff sticking off the top and bottom, but like some of these kind of would spell something out. I don't think like any of our year numbers work good here. I feel like 1847 is the closest we get with like an obvious 4 and 7, and I feel like there should be a 1, but like not in the same axis that I'm looking at it. You equally stumped Crit Twitch because I got little going on. I think you can hear the hamster that powers my brain with the little wheel up there taking a nap right now. Let's see. I'm pretty sure if you press the right combination of buttons, you just clear 4 Tetris lines and get a full Tetris. This is what that's called, right? And they have the like nether portal thing, which was like one of our digits. JT. I mean, these could be interpreted as like some of these could be like fractions of numbers. Like if we look at like this and this, you could mash those together into like a 0. I don't know that you could do anything with that. Like the problem is that there's like potentially like multiple layers to this of like even if we sort of understand the inputs here as to like how to turn these into letters or numbers or some recognizable thing that we could feasibly interact with, we still then wouldn't know what the password itself was to input here. I'm just gonna hit 10 random buttons. Actually, I've lost count, so I'm going to hit that many random buttons. And then just for fun, as if we have any shot in the world of that working. 1847, 2014, 1963, 1963, 1847, 2014, 1847, 1963, 2014. I'm shocked to learn that that didn't work. I'm just gonna match this set memory sequence. Yeah, that doesn't really look like anything to me. But I'm pretty sure I have parts 1 and 3 correct. 2, well, I mean, you see how I'm dealing with 2 at the moment, currently. También. You say we could go like level, like floor by floor of the house, but like it's also like deliberately really annoying to navigate the house. It's like very intentionally obtuse to just like clear a floor that way. We need 1 memory palace thing, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think the only thing I'm missing in any of them is the last story, which is what we're apparently calling it. Because the journal was like the last, it was like the blank space here we had for a long time. See, having no idea of the correct way to proceed, it's also unclear how to know where I might go to learn how to proceed, if that makes sense. Like, because I'm currently what I might describe as ill-informed, it's not like, oh, let's go check location theta, and location theta will surely have some clue that would help, even if I don't understand it right now. Good old theta. Is there like a separate listing for stuff on the grounds? Do wish the hotel broke it down by floor. I mean, I understand why it's designed the way it is, but I do find it annoying. Ugh, the prototypes are such a nuisance. Both the prototypes and the maze that's now permanently fractured are both such unappealing locations to go try to find something. Like, that just sounds bad. Okay, no, I do have all the outside, so I shouldn't be outside unless I have a specific purpose, which I do not. Do not have a purpose for outside. You know where the maze one is? That sounds like a miracle of God. I'd find that somewhat unlikely. I'm pretty sure we still haven't done anything in the kitchen ever at any point, right? That feels really, really weird to me. I think that it's the sole location in the game that has had no purpose, functional or otherwise. Like, I feel pretty strongly like we got $1 from these shelves. C1. We got the really annoying dollar. We had to check under the dollar to be able to find the dollar. I'm doing this now less because I feel like it's the right thing to do, and more because I don't really know what else to do. Maybe in the end, the secret is that Lorelai's most famous exhibit is that Soylent Green are people all along, or something. So, that's the bathroom. Came up this way. This is the kitchen. We went through the wine cellar. Let's go back and check the other scissor room, even though I'm rather certain that we have done that. I feel like we got $1 here. Floor 2 is the most likely place to miss money. That feels a little odd off the top of my head, but I may just be forgetting to account for something. I mean, listen, if I'm already here... The problem is that, like, I don't know how many dollars I have from any of the games. I'm missing, like, 5? Close to 5, right? Is there any, like, helpful metric for, like... Do all of the games have dollars, like, visible in the overworld as circle? Or is that just, like, one of them does that? Or is it also just the case that sometimes they're hiding? Oh, in the set, same place. I'm more asking, like, if I encounter the known place, will it be known to me? Or do I have to go around, like, clicking everything, which is annoying because in debug mode that takes you to some, like, horrendous home screen always. No, okay, we're talking past each other. I'm saying if I look at screen, will dollar be glowing? I'm trying to make it as dumb as possible because I'm apparently not coming across. If I look at screen, will I be like, oh, dollar? Or will I be like, dollar? Like, I think the ones I picked up have all been, like, glowy or at least somewhat obvious. I'm glad the question is cleared out. It feels like a relevant question, right? I know I can get in my own way sometimes, trying to words good, but like sometimes you just have to be like, will it blend? I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, it is probably most likely that dollars would have been missed in the ones that aren't this, because they're both more maze-like. At least here you kind of get a sense of like surrounding paths and stuff, but the other ones have like narrow passages with high walls and like closed doors and stuff, so like it's no need to apologize. Like, I genuinely think that was like me not communicating good. I'm making fun of myself more than anything. Yeah, it feels like the other ones are probably... I feel like I've walked the perimeter of this place. Oh, no, hang on. There's a dollar right here. Thank you, virus protection. Well, that being said, I do feel like I've walked mostly all over. But looking at that, you can sort of understand what I mean, right? Like, my recollection was they, like, the ones I remember getting sort of appeared as a glowing circle. And it's like, are any of them, like, tucked behind sign in not visible way or something along those lines? I want to say we're good here? Question mark? Suspense software. God, I really wish I could just check that in my inventory instead of having to go to a whole computer screen. So some part of me feels like this billiards table is not fully explored, and yet I'm fairly certain on a rational level that has been done. That I took an educated guess as to what the solution was here, but the billiards table, in fact, gives you a concrete way of getting to that solution. And it does feel weird to me still that, like, part of this puzzle is you put in the correct answer, and then someone shows up and says, but this clock is fast. And then you put in the same answer again, and then you win the prize. Like, that's a weird puzzle. So that's like Alder basement. Okay. I don't think any of the year rooms have dollars. So yeah, I need 4 more prototype dollars, 4 more hotel dollars, 1 more maze dollar. I am there. Really? That's where I am? Okay. I can... I'm pretty sure there's not going to be one in the piano room. And or I have it already, but I feel like there's not an unfound dollar. So I did that hallway. Very jazzy, very defiant. Wow. Espresso. Pretty sure there was $1 here that I picked up. Kind of weird that the music halts in the pause menu. It's not outside, so I shouldn't go outside. So I guess I'll go through the left door. Like, nope. Like, oh, that's where that book comes from? I had forgotten this. For some reason, the concept of looking for, like, loose money in a chapel reminds me of the game Blueprints that is, like, hitting full release later this year, I think. Don't remember how I heard about this game, but it was recently, even though, like, it had sort of, like, a demo early access period, like, almost a year ago? Maybe a little less than that. I feel like it's not here. I also feel like maybe I got an American dollar from the confessional at some point, but like, whatever. Map, first floor. Yes, to check that room, I would have to... Well, I can left, but I won't do anything. I don't think these rooms have them. They just have like letter and safe, and the safe doesn't have money. It's an idea vault. This room does not have anything because it gave us a weird key that's somehow still visible even though it's in my pocket. So this is the room I was looking for. It's around the top there. I feel like there might have been $1 over by the menu at some point. But it's like not there now. Oh. All right. That's pretty sneaky, sis. I'll give you that. So we should go. Nope, that's outside. That counts as outside. So then, I'll check left hall, but I don't think it's in left hall. What's in left hall? This is 1932. Yeah, I mean... I don't think making any progress here. I'm gonna do this anyway. This is 1932. 3 equals what? Omega. 1 equals 9 equals 2 equals. I think these were all like cardinal directions, so pretty sure like regular cross was one of them. I don't think this will be helpful, but this feels like the closest analog we have in the house to what we're looking at in panel 2. 2 was Nether Portal, which I know is a button on there, but I know that super bracket wasn't. Makes me think, because I think super bracket is 1. Or underscore. Score. Pretty sure if we turn yonder camera. Yonder. Yeah, that's 1. Okay. Well, we've written that down anyway, just in case we need it. And then we don't have to come back here again. So we've done those. We can go south. Really doubt that there's like money in the banana stand, proverbially speaking. I shouldn't ever need to go in here again, I don't think. There's no visible money there. So this, I think this technically, yeah, that is outside. Okay, I was thinking that led somewhere else, but that's definitely outside. And then this leads us back to the ladder. This is the one that leads us back to the phone book room, right? Okay. Okay. Set sail for one piece. Alright, so that's... I mean, that's basically floor one. That is not money. That is a whole architect thing that gave us a map. There's like something on the ground from that angle that looks like it could be money, but it's not. It isn't money. Don't remember at this point in the game if I would have found money here a long time ago. But I don't feel like I'm seeing a place for money now presently. Probably a good place to go is up there. I did sort of check that hallway already, and I know I've been around the couch. Okay. I'm curious if there's something in the game that actually gives context for panel 2. Like, panels 1 and panel 3, I think, like, 1 in particular, I feel like there's a lot of context for. 3, it feels like there's some context for. 2, though, I could honestly see that going either way. There have been some things in this game that kind of just feel like random. Huh. 1982. Can I get 1982? That's one of my years in the... They don't normally say it's stuck in the shelf? Okay, they do. It's just the one that, like, opens the... Okay. It seemed like a reasonable guess that maybe important year was a hiding place. However, no. Not seeing money. Would I like the year? Is there one that's... How did I get here? Oh, I see what I did. I mean, isn't it... Does 1847 have $1 in it? Because I already did that because you have to do that to open that pathway. I think that's the only one I had success with. But these are all like late 1800s. There aren't that many like relevant 1800s numbers. Oh, also that's 1882, not 1982. So obviously that's nothing. 1807? Why is it 1807? How would I know that? Like, what's supposed to tell me to look in 1807? How would I know that? How would I ever get that? The footprints. I mean, I noticed the footprints, but like it's a whole... that's not a very good clue. I mean, I know I could brute force my way through here, but like, come on. That's ridiculous. There's 7 droplets. No. I don't care if that's accurate. My response to that is no. There's the print-a-doodad. And all this corner jargon. Pretty sure there's not additional money here. This was a fun little, not difficult puzzle. This should not be helpful. Don't think I would have left. Fake gun body moved Americans. RN equals L. Is that the password to the supercomputer? Or maybe it's the same as the combination of my luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4. One is by the thing you drop down to the chapel, but don't drop down. I feel like there's a chance I would have gotten that. but perhaps not. I feel like I spent a lot of time hanging around the drop point early on. That needs to save. I feel like I have $1 from this room. This was like the heart door or something. Yeah, read all those. There was $1 here. I feel like I have it. Here's some espresso and a chair. This is a room. No, I probably got $1 off the floor when I rescued past Renzo from his chains, probably. Feel like that happened. Okay. Rata. Oh, here's another one of these. So I'm missing 4 of these. Now, some monkey brain component is like, hey, you know what? There should be 2 in each, but that's not how stuff works. Alright, let's check this whole corridor and then go through a door. And in just that one sentence, it already starts to feel like door isn't a word. Do 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 do. Okay. Oh, didn't actually mean to open that. I was trying to open the menu, but that's fine. Level design. Yeah, let's do this whole loop area. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Painting isn't money, right? Where am I at? Okay. Sadly, no. It can be worth money. You can exchange goods or services for money. Wait, that's not how the joke goes. I don't know what this tune is. It's nothing? So, I mentioned that I've been, like, really fixated on, like, a lot of, like, weird horror stuff. Recently, I've been watching a lot of content for this game called Welcome to the Game 2. Largely, it's the result of finding, like, a pretty good video essay on it. However, upon reflection, it's like the least fun-looking game I've seen in like such a long time. Like, it seems like just the absolute least fun thing to do. Which is like, honestly, I really like learning about games like that because it's like, I'm never gonna play that. Just tell me what it's like. We're trying out-of-place horror games. I don't exactly know what that means. It's a fun painting. That's still not money. It'd be nice to have control of the camera or whatever. So I like came from here, yeah? Yeah. You've walked through a lot of... It's... You know what? I'm gonna guess that 8 probably has $1 in there. I'm not sure I've gone there at any point in my whole life. So let me, like, turn around and hug the left wall on the way back, and then when I go through 7, I'll figure my life out. Oh, no anomalies go forward and advance, anomalies turn back. I've seen a few games like that. I haven't played them. Hello, what happened while I was out? I was trying out the Trials Through Daybreak 2 battle demo. Great question. First, welcome to the stream, anime. Secondly, we've been looking for money for completion's sake. We solved another, like, third of the endgame puzzle, but the last one is still quite the mystery at this moment. So, to feel productive, and because Demolition hinted it might change the ending. Hey, $1. That's cool. I'm still thinking there's $1.08 though. We decided we would, like, look for these dollars because the dollars can help us get the last document we don't have. It's very exciting, I promise. Just kidding. Wait a minute. Aren't I in? No, I'm not. How am I not in the little widget? How's that possible? Is there no space inside of 8? Am I drunk? Hi, Neko. How are you doing? Obviously I can do nothing to help anyone understand this game. Correct. That's very confusing, because that's not what that map looks like. I feel like we should debug that. Or just go to hallway. But then why create 8 then? Like, why do that? That's very... I just don't understand. I think the rest might be in the last one. I could be crazy. Is there no space inside of 8 is a weirdly philosophical question to come in on, and yet somehow it feels completely on par for Lorelei and the laser eyes, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it? I mean, I feel like we've done a reasonably thorough pass. I do feel like I am more likely to have left money in the other one than either of these two that we've checked. Software. This one's a dead end, huh? Right, that's where I'm at. Okay. Oh, you're right. There's $1 under that sledge. I feel like I have tried to pick that up before. Not, like, consciously looking at it, but just, like, in that zone trying to, like, interact with Hammer. I must be wrong, but I feel like I have done that. Okay. It's not particularly good or convenient to get over there. Regrettably. My condolences for just everything going on in America. I think you have a sense of how it's going. It's like, I know how stupid this will sound, but I promise that I just mean it earnestly. Which is like, 4 years had been enough time to forget how bad it is to exist this way on a daily basis. Is an American dollar crumpled up under the hammer? We could sure use those in America. Okay, we're right next to a computer we can evaluate. So we're missing like 3 prototype dollars and 2 house dollars? Why would I click load disk? 1 house dollar. I'm missing 1 house dollar. Then 1 maze dollar, 3 prototype dollars. 1, 2, 5. I think it's just 5. Which tracks because we have 5, and that should be all of them. Map. So that takes us to outside where we don't want to go. We've already sort of checked that area. Could check the music zone again. I kind of feel like that last house dollar is on the 3rd floor or maybe in the loft. go. And then right. Oh no. There's obviously not, like, how would there be $1 in here? On the bright side, with all the chaotic news going on, you know, like a really powerful step forward for equality is the executive order that declares everyone in the United States a woman. I mean, what a unprecedentedly feminist maneuver by Donald Trump. I mean, just truly bizarre stuff. What up, my sisters? Amen, sis. Can I get a hallelujah? Do I get anywhere? How do I play this game? Everyone's a woman now? Yeah. It's like, it's officially everyone is determined by the government to be the gender they were at conception. And scientifically, all human beings are female at conception. And so that's where we are. So we're all ladies now. It's ladies' night. The gal who wrote that used ChatGPT for part of it. Color me shocked, sis. I wonder where that last dollar is. Was also circulating. Where was it? I want to say like Michigan. There was like some state where like on like a local level, someone was trying to introduce a bill that stated that conception began at erection, which is a strong choice. It's largely believed to have been a satirical thing, but it got like a shocking number of votes. Man, don't you hate when you're just like, you're really close to being able to afford something, but you live in a vacant hotel that spans centuries and you just can't find that last dollar to pay for the sales tax or whatever, and you just have to wander aimlessly. No one's relating to that? No? Okay, that's unfortunate. Thought I was onto something there. There's a good... Anyone here watch Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun on Netflix? I'm already on the 3rd floor, you say. That's embarrassing. It doesn't feel like I'm on the 3rd floor, and I don't know how to justify that. It just is true. No. It's pretty good. I mean, it didn't get renewed for a 2nd season, which is a bummer. It has, like, a few bits I really like. There's a thing I think is pretty funny where, like a lot of the sketches are sort of done in the context of like there's 3 guys living together in a house and they just do sort of like exaggerated like almost kid show style like songs or something. And at one point like the scene just starts with like one of the guys like singing a song trying to be like, isn't it relatable that this like thing happens to everybody? And then the second guy does the same thing. And then like the third guy is just dressed as like a French aristocrat and like totally goes off on this like not relatable problem at all, and the music just sort of comes to a halt. Like, no, not relatable. No one knows what you're talking about. Native Americans are no longer a birthright, so they would be illegally deported to Mexico. I mean, there's like so very many things wrong with that, obviously. Yeah, this definitely feels like the place where all my lost money is. This horrible library of despair. Legally distinct from a regular library, which only fills me with despair because I really can't be bothered to read if I don't have to. Which, saying that out loud does kind of suggests I'm sort of the problem, huh? You got the list. I don't really desire to spend much time here. Why don't you go ahead and hit me with that list? Look up pop-up books. That's true. I feel like there aren't enough pop-up books, you know? Definitely interesting. It's worth checking out. Like, I mean, it's like a one season... Gosh, I think there's like somewhere between like 6 and 8 like half-hour episodes. There's a few bits I think are absolutely great. Hey, look, $1. Nope, $1. There's... I don't know. I think the hit rate on Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun is pretty high. There's some that aren't like amazing, but I don't think there are very many that I like didn't like at all. What along the middle hallway? Oh boy, middle hallway southeast section of map. Where am I now? I think that's that one. Middle hallway southeast section. Yeah, one in southeast corner of room with woman. I feel like I might have that one, but let's go find out. Why the bookcase is shaking so much? They fear my feminine power. I am woman, hear me roar loudly in the quiet library and disrupt the peace. Or something. So now I think we're in room with woman. Yeah, definitely didn't have this one. That's 2 of 3. One in east-facing hallway that goes nowhere. Boy, is that a distressing description. East-facing hallway that goes nowhere. Probably in the center. Feels like I might have that. This should be the right way. Bloody dollar. It wasn't just pink. It wasn't just blood. It was pink blood, confirming that we're in the middle of a raincoat case. Oh God. Something. What was it? There was something recently that reminded me of the concept of like a twist that doesn't work at all unless like the author like lies to the audience, and like, I mean that's less of a raincoat thing and more of like a Somnium Files thing, but just. I have nothing but traumatic memories associated with this concept. Maybe down further? There's 3 of these? Need an east-facing hallway. Top center section of the map. One in the hallway south of the book. In the center western section. That should be the last one of these. So I'm missing 1 house dollar and 1 maze dollar. Yeah, we should be good. Okay. Demolition head type. How would the raincoat cats do here? And we all know that the answer is that what's his face is like the smartest man in the world, also known as number 1, and he's also the dumbest person I've ever met. So like, considering how much thought is required to get through these puzzles, and some of them I can barely comprehend if at all, I don't like those odds. And you know Shinigami's not helping him out at all. Yeah, I have all of my my plot coin or whatever from the video games. I need 1 house dollar and I need 1 maze dollar. Now the house dollar is a problem because I have no idea. I got nothing. It could be anywhere. It's a big house. Did recheck this room. If he'd only had a picture book explaining all the steps he'd already taken for the 3rd time. It is, like, genuinely, like, gross how redundant that is. Like, the reiterating it 1 time to sort of, like, close the case is, like, fair enough. But, like, they do literally have you do that twice back to back. Like, you solve the case, and usually that process is, like, grueling and miserable. And then they do like a summary thing where you turn into like a kaiju-sized monster to terrorize like a fictional battlement, and then you have to like play with a sticker book and fill in the gaps to solve the mystery for a third time. And the second and third iterations you literally do like right after each other, I think in every case in Rain Code, which is just horrifying. Oh Lord, this house one is bad. And that, what's the room? That's a year room. That's a number door. The fax room. I just don't think it's up here. But I've been everywhere else. Have I been everywhere else? Does outside separate from the house? I mean, my understanding is like if you go outside, you're in the category known as outside, and I have all the outside dollars. If that answers the question, which I'm not genuinely sure if it does. But there is a separate category called outside to track dollars outside the house. So that is... No, now I'm in loft. And the right-hand stuff, that leads off to... That's the revolver room, and then that just dead ends here. The glass is made of plastic. If you interact with them, you just get their note again. What was the whole idea with the video game console in the game? Great question, Keen. Strictly speaking, the idea is just that it is like a medium for artistic expression. So there's this weird meta concept in Lorelei and the Laser Eyes where like Lorelei is some like crazy multimedia expert artist. And so like I think early on they either imply or say outright that like a big part of the goal of the game is to like visit all of her art pieces and somehow use them to solve the puzzle of this hotel that we were invited to. And so like there are things with like video cameras and perspective in a room depending on where you're standing and things like that. And like just video game is one of them, and the video games in the game are all like prototypes that don't amount to anything, and it's just in practical speak it's a puzzle that's meant to be solved to give you an answer to solve a different puzzle. You could go one by one if you want. I have more or less done that. I got a little loosey after delving into the video games, but like floors cellar 1 and 2, I feel pretty strongly that I've checked everything. 3 and loft, a little bit less so, but like I don't... Where am I now? Loft. So it's not here. It's not that loft room. I don't think it's... It shouldn't be the debug room. There's nothing over there. That room's so small. I mean, there's never dollars in year rooms, right? I think that's true. And this leads me down to here. This is the second floor. I think I got $1 in here at some point. Probably. Not exactly sure where it was, but I feel like I got $1 from like the desk or something. I'm gonna go back up. Take the ladder. You really think you know where the maze one is, Demolition? So we're on... three now. So we're in this place. We've already got all the money out of the console room. I don't think there's any money to be found in that sort of foyer. Underground. Ooh. Now that you say that, maybe there is a box we didn't open? That's a numbered door. That's a numbered door. This is debug room? Debug room. Debug room does not have... I spent so much time in there. If there was $1, I would have to have it, right? Actually, underground is a really exciting answer because it means not navigating the maze. That would be thrilling. Oh boy. Is it really on 3? That feels like that's lower. Stupid house. I mean, it's not in any of here. Can I just, like, rifle through her pockets? Oh. I might understand what the second panel is. See, this was worthwhile, assuming I'm right. But I don't have that American dollar that I wanted. Well, we can't not go. We're already here. Let's go to the maze today. It should have occurred to me that that is, like, the one remaining thing I don't have a use for, like the 3 signs of truth and their random shapes. Which could, you know, whatever. You kind of got it. I mean, I feel like you should congratulate yourself for kind of getting it based on... I just, like, talked to an old woman. She said the truth is near, and I was like, I solved the puzzle! Especially if you haven't been following closely. Room is it's not this room. I kind of thought it was this one. I pass it. Probably, yeah. At this point, I'd say that's likely. Oh, it's my I love this puzzle. Hold on. I need to do this. And then do this. Did eventually sort of figure out how that works. It's, oh, no, right, it's there. Yeah, it's there, right. Okay. Yeah, that's right, I never did get, that staircase. I thought that was going to be part of the Minotaur puzzle, but it's not. Obviously, I need to find that staircase, because that's how I would press the button, and the button makes that come over here, and I'd just be able to open it. Well, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I do that? Where would that come from? I would need... Northwest sector. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I would have thought, kind of. At least that's not very far. Well, we're northwest now. Now this one doesn't have... There is a sector that has just like a... like an obvious stair... Oh. Oh. Well, that's not so bad. And honestly, that's more or less the direction I would have tried to do. That's not even really, like, a spoiler. Just sort of like going on the vibes of where that staircase like should be. That's more or less the direction I was gonna try to go. But like, yes, that's tucked away. That's cute. I see what they did there. Oh, now I have to like get out of here. This isn't it, huh? It's just like also a dead end. No, it's fine. This is it, right? Super Discana. Dollar. Just need that stupid house dollar. And on the bright side, this endeavor did give us closure. But now I'm really committed to that stupid dollar is the thing. And I don't know. Save is a good idea. But, what's our save progress at? I think dollars count towards... Yeah, dollars must count in small part towards your, completion rating. But, like... Haven't I been everywhere? I mean, I don't think I've doubled back through Long Hallway, but Long Hallway doesn't, like, have anything. No? Check the stat screen. Sure. But, I mean, it's a house dollar. It's not going to tell me anything other than that. It's a hotel dollar. Otherwise, 10 out of 10, 3 out of 3, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 8, 2 out of 2, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 12, 26 out of 26, 20, 20. I just need that one hotel dollar, dog. Floor by floor. I promise you I've checked cellar and first floor thoroughly. I feel like at this point I've checked the third floor pretty thoroughly also. I mean... I don't think it's loft. I think I've been to all the loft rooms unless one of the loft rooms has a really well hidden one. Maybe behind mannequins. See, I checked for the mannequins because like that seemed like a place that I wasn't sure I got a dollar. But like would probably have one. I don't think there was there. That wasn't a sentence. I don't think there was there. Yeah, I think I got it. I think I got it. Cause like there should be one there, yeah. Let's do second floor again. There's a lot going on in the second floor, and it's like really annoying to navigate. This leads to here. This is like lower right corner, right? This is like the furthest point. Going to the balcony would be outside, so that's not it. What's in the long hallway here? Is it a numbered room? I think it is. Yeah, it's like 1970, whatever. Sure. Don't think that, I mean, like, these statues were, like, puzzle. I don't think there's, like, anything to pick up from them. I do love their recurring numbers, eh? So, I mean, this is obviously to outside. I'm pretty sure I got a dollar from here, but it is an outside dollar. Now we are... This is a map. So we're in the music room. I don't think either of the rooms above me have anything. I Like, I think there was $1 in here, but I don't... Crafts room study, shelf and back. Crafts room study. Are these labeled in a way that I would recognize them in-game? East back hallway. East back hallway. What's East back hallway? Entering room from southern exit. It's sitting on the railing, west wing. Second floor. Found on floor after solving puzzle in this room. That one I have. That's the chains puzzle, yeah? East wing. Next to sofa on the side. These are hard to parse. Partially just because the house is a messy maze that's not particularly well labeled. Next to sofa. Next to sofa. Me sofa. Okay. For some reason that did sound weird. Very fitting. Yeah, the last $1 was next to me sofa. Was there something confusing about that, Neko? Alright, let's go hear about a comedic magic show and then beat the game. Celebrate with espresso. I'm just, at this point, it would take me an espresso to get an espresso, if you know what I mean. Just coming to me so far. Yeah, so we were looking for all the dollars, and the last one was just next to a sofa. So it's me so far. Justin gets it. I think left is the guy I still need. Hey, buddy. Would you like 10 American dollars? Beaut. Your support keeps the arts alive. Now brace yourselves. An owl girl will tell you things. Hey, I can close this screenshot because it's not relevant to my interests. That was a bad time and place to do that. This is the last thing to spend my American dollars on. I had to collect these stories for none raisins at all. Your journey has been long to get here. It's dangerous to come alone, and I will tell you this weird story. This tragic story we call The Last Dream. The gacha machine. Now we finished the gacha machine. You want to go look at them? We can do that. Not long ago, there was an old artist who looked into a red mirror, and in that mirror she saw a young woman, and with her was a man, and that man was with an old woman who looked into a red mirror. Nope, sorry. She was looking at a long treasure, where the guy was. I lost track. The old artist painted them a treasure map, which led to a faraway palace. Together they found the treasure known as the Third Eye. It was found in the shrine of the Silver Monkey. But in the shadows of the treasure lived a beast, which decided to hide in the shadows of the man. Not long had the beast lived in the shade until it grew hungry, and he devoured the man and his soul. Lol. Lamau. The end. It was a comedy. Is there more to that? No, okay, there is. To escape the beast, the woman shattered the red mirror and fled through it. On the other side, she met the old artist. The old artist opened her eyes one last time as the young woman told her the tragic story of the third eye. And then they loop, more or less, right? Like, I feel like that's actually a little intentional. Story of the third eye, like, self-perpetuates. I love a good snap. But apparently not Marvel Snap. As far as I know, that's... I don't know, is that still banned? TikTok's back online since last week, isn't it? I don't particularly care, to be honest with you. Oh, really? Marvel Snap's still down? That's curious. Just Bite Dance being petty. Ah, you know what? Good for them. Although, I don't know. No, wait, that game's like super duper free to play, right? Oh no, it makes money off cosmetics. So like hitting the user base is like kind of a thing. Just in case any of y'all missed it, we did fill out the gotcha. We have spent every possible American dollar at this point. Can I just like scroll through these? No, I kind of have to go one at a time. Oh, and then it backs you out? That's rough. We got like a weird little guy, clock radio, 3 bears. Oh, this is that game we played. Split 2, kind of. Legally distinct from Splatoon. UFO guy, little pill-headed monster, lovely sword with a heart on it, frog thief. I think this one's like a safe or something. Another clock radio, a fanciful gentleman, tiny model of a house, the antagonist from Little Misfortune, sort of, man in a suit, celebrating robot, Navi from Ocarina of Time, waving nerd bear, goat with key, jazz hands Lorelei, and a cell phone? Try to picture someone looking at you from a window. Who is it? That's distressing. Which one's my favorite? I think Frog Thief. Frog Thief's pretty good. I like Heart Sword. I like Celebrating Robot, but I think Frog Thief is the best one. Okay, let's I think you can just pee whenever. Because I haven't drank anything. Don't wash hands. Favorite is analog clock radio. That's an unexpected choice. Slurp. That one's for you, Demolition. Alright, let's go to -1. Now I have to figure out where I have notes on the symbols of truth and interpret those back into shapes. Finally got to see her drink coffee. Now go poop. I pooped first so I could drink the coffee. You understand? Okay, where are these stupid symbols? Ah, right. I see what I did. Yeah, okay. Take these away. Put them, sandwich them between panels 1 and 3. First symbol is north, center, southeast. God, that's gonna be a mess. We'll figure it out, maybe. Okay. Okay, so first we take the symbols that we pasted together from those shredded magician posters around the house, and somehow someone gave us, someone like turned those into letters. Oh, right. Those were the messages from the discs, right? The messages from the discs, like, associated a letter with a description of the poster, and that's how we turned them into the letters of Lorelei, so we know which one is which, to type out Lorelei. So L is SU. O is... where'd it go? 611. R is J91. E is E. L is that first one, SU. E is E, and then I is backwards C-U. I think I have that right. Okay, now, panel 2, symbols of truth. First symbol is north, center, southeast. So, like, north, center, southeast. North, center. It feels like that's not enough symbol. Do I want the negative space around that? That was something that was slightly unclear about how that information was presented. If that's true, then the first symbol would be like northwest, west, southwest, south. So like curve around the edge and then like northeast, east. But that's not possible. Nothing looks like that. Right? North, center, southeast. Oh, southeast. No, that's what I was looking at. North, center, southeast. North, center, southeast. Because it put them in a 9 panel, so I was using the directions because we'd just gone through like assigning directions to all the like maze panels. This would be the H. No, H has too many characters. It's just supposed to be like 3. Feels like I've done something wrong here. The inverse is west, so like down to is there like a rotational thing here or something? No, it still wouldn't do it, I don't think. The other ones. Second symbol is
not sure what blowing on that will achieve.
I think I have to go back and look at this again. Well, no, 'cause 2 of my symbols were the same, weren't they? That was part of what was weird about it. It's the second symbol I have listed the same way: north, center, southeast. I can picture it. It was like the line in the block. But I mean, no, this really could be depicted as a 9 grid, right? So it should be possible to do that. What am I missing here? The other symbol I have, this might give some context, is north, northwest, west, southwest. That feels closer to like what I'm looking at here. So it'd be like north, northwest, west, southwest. That would be like this, but not quite so far to the top right corner. I don't have that, do I? So the inverse of that would be, there's nothing that looks like that. It would be like a block with like a line going up on the side. That'd be really obvious. So I think I just have to go back to the stupid. So that involves going to the quiz club, which I said I was never going to do again. Cool. We're like really close. I think there's some. It's possible I like, because I didn't have the context, I didn't note this well enough, or maybe there's still something to figure out about it. I'm not entirely sure. What do I want? First floor, I guess. I think this is first floor on left. Whee. Yeah, this place. Whee. Well, I think either way we should take a look at them again, now that we have the context of what they would be used for. Zoop! I don't remember how to get where I'm going. Down? Down and then up? Yeah. So this is what I noted. North, center, south, east. And if you look at this thing over here, it's called the first symbol. You can keep trying to conceal this in all possible manners, make up stories, or tell it like it never was, but the truth is right before your eyes. Now the question is, does it have something to do with like where she's visible? It seems really difficult to like comprehend. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. I didn't really notice the grid on the floor. Huh. That's weird. So then is the idea... There's a couple ways you could interpret this. Is that I want to stand in a spot where I show up in white and I mark the spots where I'm standing as that's the shape of truth? Or maybe I'm supposed to stand where I like show up in the same spot on the wall? That feels unlikely. I'm sure that's like possible. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I guess this makes some sense out of why two of the shapes would be the same. I mean, it's possible it could have like randomly generated in a favorable way, but you know. So like top right, top. So like northeast, north. Northeast, north, south? That's nothing. But the inverse of that is something. That would be like one of the H's. Let's operate under that assumption for now, because it makes more sense. Non-white spaces based on standing position. Lord, that won't make any sense to me later. So like northwest, west, southwest, center, east, southeast, parentheses, H. Oh boy. So this is a white space. That's not. That's not. This is. So northwest and northeast and southeast and south. So that is, I think that's something. Because this is, so it's like, oh boy. West, southwest, center, north, east? Because it's not the north corners or southeast or south. So that's like a Tetris with a little dangle on the left side. Kind of. But oh, this is also the third one, isn't it? Yeah, it's the third symbol because it does them in a weird order. Okay, so the second. So the third symbol is this thing. And then the... Is this right? No, just look at the sign. Second symbol. Okay. So this is northwest and east. And west. Yeah, okay. So northwest, west, and east leaves us with the negative space of southwest, south, center, north, northeast, southeast. So that's the entire bottom row, the entire middle row, and a little crook to one side. That also looks like a shape that I could do. I'm either like really close or just not at all. One of the two. Which has been the case for much of the game. I had a weird moment where I had my hands on both WASD and arrow keys and then like wanted to like hit the single button the game has and like my brain shorted out. It's like all I know how to do is move. I can only move. I cannot perform actions. I must move. No, just use the elevator. -1. It's shocking that even with the exploration of the house to get all the dollars, that it's like midnight. Okay, hold on. Computer. Okay. L. 611 is O, right? Oh, I have to scroll back up for this. Yeah, that's O. 611. Oh. R. E. L. E. I. Okay. Symbol 1 is northwest, west, southwest, center, east, southeast. So it's like this. It's northwest, west, southwest, center, east, southeast. 1. Symbol 2 is southwest, south, center, north, northeast, southeast. So that's all the way down and then all the way up and then 1 over, which is, it's like an inverse of this. I have that, don't I? It's this. Southwest, south, southeast, center, north, northeast. 2. Third symbol. North, northwest, west. So this is the entire west side and north. That looks weird. That looks wrong. Oh no, because I'm right. That's my old symbology that I left there. What I'm looking for is west, southwest, west, southwest, center, north, east. So I have like center, northwest, east. So like something like this, but the other way? Do I have the other way of this? Whoa. This. It's this one. West, southwest, center, northeast. 3. Okay. Panel 3. 1932? 1847. Neko, you missed a part of the stream where this makes any sense, so I'm just assigning years to years. Don't worry about it. 1938? Well, that's 2014, baby. 1948, that's 1963. I believe 1953 is also 1963. 1957 is 1847. 1960, that's 2014, obviously. 1962 is 1847, why not? 1973, 1963, and then lastly, 1982 is 2014. Login successful. That puzzle with the truth symbols is very weird and unintuitive, and somehow I got there. Initializing verity sequence. This is where we take out our eyes, right? This is where the eyes go away. Whoa! Virtual reality! Aw, crap. We're in a forever tunnel. Okay. Oh, good, it's Owl Girl. And so we reach the end. The third eye has opened. Before you go, know this. You will encounter 9 truths. Oh, fart. You know what they are now. Together they shall form the final truth hidden deep below. It has been a privilege to play with you. Please accept my deepest gratitude. Why do I feel like she's gonna slit my throat now? Thank you for everything, Lorelei. Now bring me your eyes. Ah! Not what, okay. Input equals young woman or old woman. I don't love the, like, running debug report. Oh. Input equals young woman or old woman? I don't really understand the input. Oh. Lorelei is one of those. Okay, great. Ah. I accidentally went back to the middle because the fountain was in my way. Oh. Okay. No, okay. Uh-huh. Oh, ooh. Oh, regrettably, I don't know what the puzzle word is. Oh, but it's all... I mean, I'm just shot in the dark here. Can I put the other woman as, like, an answer and not get liquefied? Okay. So, I need to find... stuff. I need to find stuff? Oh, God, I hate it here. Why is reality like this? Am I right, ladies? And I can say that because we're all ladies now. This sucks. Why is it like this? Ooh. Input equals current year. Go deeper. So the stairs down is 1963? I've sort of lost track of that. The current year is 1963, right? 18... Wait. Oh. For some reason... false. Okay. I mean, that felt like that... Well, is it 1962? Ba-da-ba-da-da-ba-da. I mean, I understand the prompt. I just don't know where to put it. Can I just... That's really all I got, isn't it? Yeah, I have 2 cubes here. Neither one... I mean... Let me do this. 1962? Yeah, I'm not sure it's the current year. Is sort of what I'm wondering now. I mean, the most recent year this game is willing to commit to is 2014. Okay. Now, I take a little bit of umbrage at the fact that I should know that one. Like, the implication is that, like, by going through this, everything is, like, factual and I know it. I can, like, deduce that with enough brute force, but, like, I don't think the game has communicated to me that the current year is 2014. I would argue that point. Yeah. Hi. Input is man, go deeper. Gross. Buy me dinner first. So I probably need to go, like, up and over, unless everything is rearranged. Oh, I kind of understand. So then this way? Sure. Yeah, I assume that's fine. Could probably also put Lorenzo in theory. Well, that's not gonna do it. Can I go this way? No. That was apparently what I was actually supposed to do. If input equals fiction woman. Fiction woman. Maybe that's Renate? Is Renate fictional? Nope. Oh. I mean, she's in, like, the script pages, but I don't think I would have called her the fiction woman. Hi, Bunny. We're very close, maybe, to the end of this game, maybe? Okay. I mean, personally, I'm not, like, a huge fan of this, like, navigate nonsense space through trial and error. It's not the worst thing I've ever done, but, like, this type of thing, I think, is best used in moderation and not for the entirety of the duration of what we're doing. Like, if it was... Okay. If input equals fiction year, go deeper. I mean, that could be, like, all sorts of crap. Fiction year... I'm gonna guess fiction year is probably 1847 and not 1963. 1847. How do I get to, like, an input? Confound it. Is it in 4? Is the answer 4? Apparently it is. Okay. 1847. Alright, so that suggests the entire backstory is fictional? Cool, I guess. This is nothing. This room is nothing. Input Fiction Man. I mean, Fiction Man is Lorenzo, yeah? Oh, we're... Okay. Wait. There's not that many places to go right now. Okay. Just kidding. Just lying about that. Or... And... So... The Great. Okay, we'll go this way. Oh, and now we're in... I am an old woman. I am a grieving widow. If we go to the laser plots, will we have laser eyes finally? Okay. That didn't get us nowhere. So up is back to where we started. Maybe this is different though? No, this is nothing. Okay, I'm going this way. This looks a little promising. Oh, hi, it's me. Hello, me, it's me again. If input equals incident year, go deeper. Okay, well, the incident is probably 1963. If by nothing else, then by process of elimination. But, how do I get to Go Cube? Where's my Go Cube? Where's Go Plats? If you ever have a family reunion, you have to theme it around the word laser plats. I mean, the closest thing I've ever had to a family reunion was with my mom's side, which did not apply. Would be really funny to theme that reunion that way as like sheer nonsense. This is just, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, So these are all just gonna be back out, right? And they're all gonna go to the same place, so there's like no benefit to it. Yeah, figure, just wanted to be sure. Mazes within mazes within mazes. Now, this game seems to be under the impression that by now I have context for, like, what happened, and I'm not entirely sure I agree. No, up is out. What am I doing? I mean, that's just all the TV there is, yeah? So maybe I go... I think that takes me to her. No, that just leads me back to start. I mean, down takes me to, like, Old Crone. I think this dead ends. And I think if I go right from here, it doesn't do anything? Yeah, it kind of just moves me back, right? I'm not, like, 1000% sure what it wants from me. This is a dead end, so I would have to go left. This will take me to the old woman. I don't understand. I don't understand. What's the correct? What's the right one? It seems like all the directions are dead ends or loops, which are in their own way also dead end. Maybe this up. Maybe this up. I feel good about this, actually. Okay, 19... I know. We'll call them poplars. If input equals departed, go deeper. Departed. Departed. Departed? This game thinks I know things I don't know. Just 2 more after this? No, don't offer me a hint. Is it... What's the dog's name? What's the dog's name? I really doubt that's it, but what's the dog's name? Wait, allow me my contemplation, brother. The heck's the dog's name? Oh, I'm an old woman. Something with an R. It's Rudy. It's not that, but Rudy? R-U-D-I, I think? I mean, I'm just gonna try the obvious ones that I don't think are probably... Okay, no, he did die. Hi. Hello. I mean, I suppose he was a skeleton in fairness. But it starts to become difficult to keep track of, like, what is a metaphor and what isn't when so little of the game is, like, truly grounded. Oh, hi, it's me. Input equals responsible. Responsible. Répondre. I mean, script, so one of the script pages actually show him dying? There are no phones in 1847, you cretino. There is no owl girl but a mirror. He sees himself briefly. And changes. He vanishes from the mirror. Renzo is left with an image of himself. I'm gonna try guessing revolver. Ooh, that's video games. That's nothing. Well, not that. This feels promising. You know, what's funny is that we were joking about the, like, mandatory recap from Raincode. And it feels like we're doing exactly a Raincode style one, where, like, at some point you inevitably encounter some logical loop that the game, like, didn't properly explain to you, and you're like, oh, was I supposed to get that from that? Responsible. Responsible. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's asking for cause of death or... I mean, like... There's no space. I don't think Owl Girl is going to be a response that the game likes. What do you mean? Glances at the revolver. But he's got the revolver right now. Notices the red stains on his cheeks. Stands and listens. Sneaks back to the main entrance. All the corridors. Everything is locked. Checking all the windows. You run up and down the stairs. I haven't been there this entire... Okay. I think I was just supposed to guess that? I don't know. Should I worry about that? Feels a little troubling. Is this okay? Alright. Pardon? What's happening? Oh, okay, was that what I wanted? Probably not. Probably not. What happens if I go upstairs, though? I think my caffeine wore off. Yeah, this is not... Oh, hey, look. Memory address. Einahedron. That's like Greek for the nonary games or something. To what end, though? Oh. Okay. Oh, but that would mean that this has to go here. And then this has to go here. I want to make, like, a continuous, accurate walking path, right? Is that what we're doing? So, like, these... Okay. Really? Alright, well, this one's got some ways to go. Don't worry about it. Alright, so now we've got the upper part, and... Oh, but this is the bottom, so that's not the upper part. These are the middle sections. Where am I? Yeah. You know? And then if I go left, I'm up here. Ooh, no wait, hold on. Flip that back. Go down one, go down one, go up. Go down one. Now go up. Alright, so that is the left corner. And now this needs to go up. Ooh. Right. Right. It's like a sliding puzzle. It's gonna get really messy. What? Oh, never mind. Apparently that was perfect. Hey, Eos, welcome to the stream, and probably the end of this game? Oh, I do have agency, I guess. It was so stylistically shot, I kind of assumed that it was like a cutscene. Look at my eyes. My special eyes. My brand! Alright, let me descend into the recesses of my memory and, I don't know, push this dude out a window or something? It's somewhat unclear. Hey, buddy. Use Brinkwit down? I see how it ends now. Do you, Lorelei? Well, I mean, it might have helped if you didn't cut your eyes out, but that does seem to be everyone's solution to everything. What's with people cutting their eyes out in video games? I guess I'll push him. No, not yet. You are afraid, Lorelei. Okay. I'm retreating. Yes. This is exactly what happens. Cut to black. Now I will fumble in the dark like a madman. Fumble in the dark? We played that one on stream. Start backing away. You are very afraid. Where are you? It's all black and I can't see you. There was no way to predict this would happen when I cut out my eyes. But I reach out and manage to grab you. I reach out and touch fate. I say something like... It seems more like you would say the laser eyes thing. Yes, perfect. I see it all through laser eyes. And what do you do, Laura? Push him? Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Signorina. Alright. This is as close to the truth as we will ever get. The important thing is that you finally saw it, the laser eyes. There are no such things as laser eyes, of course. But that is how it is with a story. Like the tale of a Labrador, living its life freely from the dog always moving. Until one day, it does not. We did it. Do we do it? No, did that not answer all of your questions, Eos? Was that not everything you could vote for? Listen, I don't hate it, but I think I said at one point that even though I was enjoying the game, I was pretty sure the ending of it would give me nothing or something to that effect. I feel vindicated in a sense. So she's stuck in an insane time loop? I don't know, because I thought that's what was going on, but then all of the questions leading up to the end sort of implied that that wasn't true, and some of the time loop stuff was literally fiction within the context of the story. And if that's true, then like, why did it matter at all? You're here in time for the story to start? I think it's about to get started, Deco. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you have a lovely evening. I think at this point I'm going to say, since this is taking us like an entire stream like that tomorrow, I'm probably not streaming. Well, I don't know. I kind of don't want to start a new game. I have like plans that will probably start early on Sunday, and I don't want to be up super late. Maybe we could do like a short Balatro or something. I don't know. The other game, I did some testing for the Wallace and Gromit game. I think I could get it to run. It's old enough that I think it won't give my computer problems. But I was testing it at like quality 7 out of 9. That's right. The top quality is 9. Don't worry about it. It's a cool song. The soundtrack to this game is quite good. I don't know. I honestly feel like the game didn't quite give me enough context to like figure stuff out. I'm not entirely clear why. Like, it's weird to me that like it depicts Lorelai and Renzo as a couple. It feels like there's none point in time where that's like true. What year was the Wallace and Gromit game made? 2000 single digits? I don't know exactly what year. It's old. It's like a Telltale game. It came out when Telltale existed. Characters from Illumillo and Illumillo Shuffle minigame licensed. Those are real. That's a real thing. The Arimo font is a Google font licensed under the Apache license, created with Unity, published with Annapurna. Sure. Do I see the new one? New. Oh, you mean the new like Wallace and Gromit movie? Playtime 25 hours. Truth recovery 100%. American dollars 100 out of 100. I have not seen the new one. I've heard good things. So, what changes... Hang on. What does the 100% truth recovery affect? What does that matter? What does that do? Bloop. Bloop. Been going back and forth. Yeah, listen, it's a game that I realize does not require the viewer's full focus. Well, that's not true. It requires the viewer's full focus if they hope to follow along. If you aspire for anything less than complete comprehension of the game as a viewer, then like you do not need to be dialed into this game. Got the doggo scene. So wait, then the idea would be if you didn't get all of the memories, you would just see Lorelai push him through the window and the game would end? Is that where it would cut off? I got to see the new Wallace and Gromit on Christmas Day. That's fun. That sounds right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm too stupid. I don't know if it's like because I'm like too much in the puzzle solving mode or if like parts I mean, I think definitely part of it is that like components of the end of the game felt like they deliberately undercut things that I felt like I was piecing together. So let's see. The questions they asked us are: the current year is 2014. The year of the incident was 1963, and it implied that the 1847 incidents of the script pages that we found littering the floor of Lorenzo's room were fictional, right? So I guess none of that matters. But I mean, it's weird that, like, I just don't really understand what space or even necessarily time the actual protagonist Lorelai occupies. That's, like, somewhat unclear to me. Like, I feel like I'm under the impression that, like, to some extent, some of that face value stuff is accurate. That she arrived in 1963. She was invited by Lorenzo, who wasn't a magician, instead was just a creep, to do art. Like he had some idea about how to do art. I don't know why. I'm not really clear on like to what extent the maze was like important to anyone. Like I think even in the like present, the like 1963, which I think is actual history to old woman Lorelai, that like Lorenzo was really pushing her to do the maze and was acting a little bit like a madman the whole time with the revolver and like being mad that she was using vectors to plot it or whatever. Lorenzo wasn't a magician and he was a creep. That's roughly my understanding. I think the magician version of Lorenzo is a needless red herring, is a weird hoax that was included in the game because they thought it'd be fun, but it makes the story more confusing for, I'm going to say no value, or at least virtually no value. I don't really know why the maze is important, and I'm not entirely sure if how much of the third eye stuff is real, because it felt like a lot of that was associated with the quote-unquote fiction of 1847, like the like legend of an artifact called the third eye that like helps you to understand the universe in sort of a cosmic way, but like dooms you to like death or whatever. Story is already confusing for people who aren't around for it, highly inconsiderate of them. I mean, I know you're teasing a little bit, but I kind of agree to some extent. Like, I just am not sure that 1847 added enough intrigue that I value it more than I'm annoyed that it is like a reasonably large red herring. So I feel like the stuff we touch on at the end of the game is real. So is the idea that there's something in the Mind Palace that talked about Lorelai losing her sight. Wasn't there like one thing from one of the historical documents? I feel like maybe the idea is like through their art they got like close to each other and like maybe became a couple, and like maybe part of the fiction of them being like trapped in the manor was just this idea that like they got like creative block in their artistry or something, and they were just like there together and they felt like they weren't accomplishing anything. And maybe like over time she lost her sight, and so then he cut out his eyes out of weird sympathy, but I don't know why he was like still using like holding a gun on her or something. Aren't you become a couple with Lorenzo if he's a creep? Listen, there's like a really high percentage of women, by my perception, who date guys who are like undateable, and I don't have an explanation for that either. I know that's like some cheap misogyny stuff, but I'm sorry, like I've just been alive too long to be like, yeah, I think most of those guys are people that women should want to marry or whatever. Have you seen the news? There's like a lot of bad guys. There's like a lot of really bad guys. I mean, now they're all women, so it complicates that a lot. But like, all I'm saying is it happens. Women sometimes date guys who are creeps, and sometimes they're aware of it, and sometimes they're not. But it happens, and I don't like it either way. I think I'm a little bitter about it because I do genuinely believe that the world would be a better place if all people, men and women, agreed not to date creeps. Seems like a great seems like a really good baseline for like your life would probably be better, and if you decided to have kids, their lives would probably be better. Like it's best if we just don't propagate creeps or like expose children to them or whatever. That's kind of where I'm at. These guys pretend to be decent at first. I don't even believe that's always true. That's certainly true some of the time, but like I definitely feel like sometimes we just choose to ignore that. Like Demolition says, the eye can fix him, which is usually, from my understanding, a sign of like pretty deep-seated trauma. So like it can be excused to some extent, but like we should just generally, I really feel put a moratorium on creeps, like as a category. Um yeah, I don't know. Like the relationship between Lorelai and Lorenzo, I think is like really confusing. And I think it's like important to what's going on, but that makes it sort of difficult to decipher to me. Um yeah, it's just like a lot of red herring. I mean, none of the magician stuff matters. I don't know. Why don't you give me your interpretation, Demolition? I'm not sure if there's like something obvious I'm missing, but it just it gives me the sense that much of the game does that it's like trying to be obtuse for its own sake because it thinks that's fun. And like sometimes there can be a deeper meaning to that, but like sometimes in order to do that you kind of have to like make up your own stuff anyway. And like typically I tend not to be super interested in that. That's just like a personal thing. Like I'm fine with like an open-ended thing or like a sort of mystical world, but like there still has to be like some kind of grounding to it, or it tends not to appeal to me. Okay, sure. Yeah, that all seems reasonably self-explanatory. Like I'm not entirely sure how Renzo and Lorelai like first interacted. That might have been in some of the backstory writing material, but like the invitation was real. They worked at the hotel. He was doing like weird movies, like that interactive film. Goes on the deep end with the Liades. Gouges out his eyes. She kills him in self-defense. Yeah, but like it feels like there's an important middle ground that makes that make sense though. Like those Moralized and the Laser Eyes script from 1847. Oh. So like he's perceiving the fiction as real because he's becoming detached from reality. He lives with the guilt for 51 years. Sure. I see where you're coming from. I don't happen to remember that specific line, but that feels like that probably accompanies one of the versions of him that was locked out. Uh, Leatles, Lorelei, and the laser eyes. It took me like 2 minutes. Don't worry about it. Her coming to acceptance with all of it is at the end when she dies. So I kind of feel like that's like 90-ish% of what I came up with. I feel like, yeah, like everything in her head, eh, I don't know. It's kind of like, it feels a little, it was all a dream, which like in the context of this like bizarre surreal world is like relatively fine, but like, I don't know. It doesn't do it, that doesn't do it for me. I don't like hate it, but like it doesn't add anything to my experience playing the game. I guess is sort of my thing. Is like I kind of thought we'd get some like cool grand unifying theory that like explained the time loop. That like I was kind of into that, and then they were like, no, the time loop is fake, and also the story is simultaneously like really straightforward but like nonsense. And I'd say that not to sound derivative, but just like I don't feel like we did enough to set up the relationship of the two of them, romantic or not, that like it feels like natural that the relationship is a central focus of the game. Or of the story of the game is like more accurate. Like even like a star-crossed lovers, like they were doomed to hate each other. Like there's all kinds of ways to do it. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be positive. It's just like it just isn't it just feels like he it feels like he exists to like put a cap on it or something. Do we find a use for tampon? I don't think there's a use for tampon. Am I wrong? I think that's like a joke. I think it's just what she had in her purse, and we just like tampon was a key piece in the puzzle box. Yeah, I mean the similarities of the names and everything is apparent. Yeah. If a tampon was all she had in her purse, she was a weak adventure game protagonist. Like this is like fringe adventure game, but at the same time, she did have like 30 keys, like two VHS tapes, some like coins for the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, like a key for a mausoleum. Like I don't know, it's like at least like a low mid tier adventure game protagonist inventory. That's true. She did start with car keys too, but not like a knife, a rope, a matchbook, and a screwdriver, which are like arguably like the big four. And an ethereal espresso cup. No, an astral espresso cup. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't mean to come off derogatory, but I feel like this game really revels in its avant-garde storytelling, which I think it does effectively. But I think the trade-off for that to me is that you are unlikely to hit me with a satisfying resolution of the game, which is something I said like a couple weeks ago. And after experiencing the end of the game, I'm like, this is kind of like roughly what I expected. Was sort of like a, yeah, if you like go with the vibes, like it makes enough sense, but like I don't really care about it. Like I don't know how to put it that doesn't sound mean. I genuinely don't mean it as like the story sucks. I just mean like I'm not getting anything out of it that wasn't just sort of there from the vibes of like looking at the script pages and seeing them interact. Like I'm not that invested in the characters, and we didn't really build anything of real substance into the story in the end to tie it up, which is I guess what I would have hoped for, but like I didn't expect to get. Needed better flow between the puzzles. Yeah, that would probably help. That would probably help. And I think that's similar to the complaint I was like going off about at the start of the stream, where like if as we approach the end game things started to like feel like they were working towards the computer, it would make sense that like all of those things had to be done together and couldn't be done any sooner. Like, I know it sort of breaks the like ethereal avant-garde. What's going on? Everything's a little weird. But like, if you want to have more impact, I think you should be willing to dabble at least a little more into something kind of concrete. But like, I do like I listen. I don't love the story. I'm not even sure I would necessarily call this a narrative game. I think the real focus is the vibe, and the vibe is immaculate, to be derivative for a second. But like the vibe's really good. The atmosphere of this game and most of its components, like the red maze, the cemetery, the theater, even the video game world, like the SC bolts the most. I mean, like that's some like true like tradcore puzzle solving. It's just like a book of like number riddles. I had a teacher who used to like on like special occasions like read those out to like my third or like fourth grade class. I love that crap. Even though I like very rarely got those like right, I was so fascinated by that. There was one I like figured out by myself and I like won a lollipop and I still remember it clearly because I can tell you about it. That was a big day for little Vasco. Um, but yeah, I mean, like in true like puzzle game fashion, some of these puzzles were really frustrating. Some of them were very clever, and like a bunch of them were fine or good. Like overall, I thought the balance of puzzle difficulty was good. I do feel like there's a couple places where we could have like tuned stuff up. There are a weird number of puzzles that like do kind of require you to go off of vibes. Like the trying to like figure out the truth shapes is super weird. Like it makes sense to me, but I don't know that even now I can explain it to you. You like have to look at the like grid of 9 TV screens on the wall and like match it to a grid on the floor, and like when you're standing on a space that shows up that makes Lorelei appear on the red square, you mark that down as part of one of the 3 shapes you need to enter into panel 2 on the computer. It's like it works, but like I can't. It's not brain. It's just it's vibes, man. You just feel it. You feel it or you don't feel it. But this is good. I'm glad we played this. I'm glad we finished it. I'm glad we got the dog scene. I'm sorry if that was triggering, Demolition. I know you're having a rough time. Yeah, I think that's a super obtuse puzzle. The only reason I'm not more annoyed about it is because like it somehow makes like intuitive sense, even though it's not like rational. Like I don't know how I would go about like writing. I mean, I know you like joked before about how like people can't write guides for this game because it's so randomized, but I'm like, I don't know how I would like how would you write it? Is the dog okay? I mean, the dog like passed away of natural causes, I think. It wasn't like harmed, but it was like to show that a bunch of time had passed. The dog sort of vanished before Lorelei like took the big sleep in her big girl bed. Dog must live forever. I mean, you can start the game over and the dog is there. Is that something? Time loop? I don't know. Anyway, so that completes our journey through Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. So next week we're for sure we're gonna take a stab at playing the Telltale Wallace and Gromit games, which I've never played before, which is kind of surprising. And we're also due to start Balatro. It was leading, the last time I checked, it was still leading our pull for roguelikes. That was admittedly a little while ago, but it was ahead by quite a decent margin. And it's a game I'm interested in checking out, and I know there's people in chat who want to know more about it because it was a nominee for Game of the Year last year. I think just to like make sure everything goes well this weekend and with everything going on in the world, I don't know. Would we rather do like one introductory Balatro tomorrow, like a really short one, or like just save it? Wish the Talos Principle remake had a concrete date besides 1H 2025. I mean, like, that was me with Sam and Max and Devil's Playhouse for like 2 years. I don't know, maybe I'll put it up to the Discord. Either way, we're not running long tomorrow. I think it's short or nothing, and also either way, next week we will do both. We'll play Wallace and Gromit, which I think will work, and I think will be interesting, and I have no idea if it'll be any good. But then we'll do some Balatro, and I'm really excited for it. Although I'm also concerned because I've heard nothing but reports of people like playing it and then sinking like 500 hours into it and losing their lives. Before we wrap up the stream, I have a room full of stuffed animals. Somewhere in this room are hiding some number of Squirtles. If you're able to indicate where a Squirtle is hiding accurately, you will have located a secret Squirtle, and in so doing, found an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So I encourage you to look around you and see if you can find a Squirtle. You want to toss out a guess there, Crit Twitch, just for good measure? Know someone who got it for Thanksgiving and has 200-ish hours already. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Speaking of Laboon, I was very excited this past weekend to convince my parents to watch live action One Piece. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that very much, which is why I had to dig out Laboon. He was in like the bottom of like the bottommost stuffed animal container that I possessed. Lots of good guesses. Got a Pikachu guess. We got Pokemon Pile, which is kind of the same guess. A couple of Carlos's, Laboon, Porcupirate. You saw earlier that Lego One Piece is coming. Yes, I saw that too. I'm very excited. I should not by any means buy any of that, but I'm really excited. Well, let's start here because I don't have to get up. We had guesses both behind Laboon and behind Carlos, and if you haven't already noticed, that's a Squirtle tucked behind them both. We had a Porcupirate guess. Under him and behind our fox friend, that's a Squirtle. That's our newest Squirtle. Let's see. We also had. Well, we have the Poke pile. It's like a whole. It's a whole pile. It's okay. Give me just okay. Give me a second. Give me a second, okay? You could go over here. And then here. Squirtle. big Squirtle. That's true. That's the biggest one. That's the biggest Squirtle I have. Oh, have you not seen that one, Crit Twitch? Okay. Somehow, there's always someone who hasn't seen the biggest Squirtle. This Squirtle I got for my birthday last year. It was in like a storefront in Burbank for like a candy store. They have like a bunch of good Pokemon. That's where like many of like the Vulpixes and the Mew all came from this place. They're like imported Japanese ones. This one's big. He's very big. Very big. Not sure scale. Okay, so I mean, Carlos is pretty well established at this point, right? We know how big Carlos is. He's like, he's like a few Carlos. He's like 2.5 Carlos across, like 2.5 Carlos tall or something. Get a life-size Dynamax Squirtle. I mean, this is close-ish. That Bob's Big Boy Memorial was amazing. I missed that. Did I miss any guests? I think that was all. Because we got Laboon and Carlos and Pikachu in the Pokepile and Porcupine. Yeah. If you hadn't guessed, the theme was there's all Squirtles everywhere. Every single one has a Squirtle. It was kind of a pain to do it, but there's just we need the Squirtles now badly. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. We'll figure out on the Discord. We might do a little bit tomorrow. I think it's like if enough people are like, I will show up tomorrow for that, then like I'll do it. But if it's just gonna be like a modest crowd, I'll probably just like get my affairs in order. It's been like a busy time, but we'll figure something out. Like I said, regardless of tomorrow, we'll either like do like a little Balatro as like an intro, or we will do probably like Balatro on Friday and Wallace and Gromit on Saturday next week. But either way, thanks for watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. I think I already said that, but I can't forget it. That will be bad. Everyone take care of yourselves. These are trying times. And remember that you are clawsome.